think that I just come in there and look for knockouts, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who want to fight with me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter beat me.
My goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all of the belts, all of the titles. Body work,
Welcome to Body Work. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Body Work Boxing. It feels so good to be back. Man, it's daylight savings, man. I know a lot of people probably tucked off, get ready to go to sleep or do something else, man. I just wanted to do a segment. Talk a little bit of boxing, man, before I call it quits for the night. Yeah, it was a light week this weekend, as far as boxing goes. There were a couple fights on, not nothing really to, like, for this channel, not nothing really to talk about. I was able to catch a playback of the Speedy Rashidi, Ellis, and Javier Fortuna fight. Speedy Rashidi looked like he was in good shape. I'm not sure what it's going to do for him as far as, fighting somebody like Javier Fortuna. But he looked like he was in good shape. You know what I'm saying? You could tell he's staying active, and Javier Fortuna, I don't think he's been the same for a couple years now. He had a lot of potential, but I think his shot was back when Devin Haney was supposed to fight him. Devin Haney supposedly had shoulder surgery, didn't fight him. Javier Fortuna wound up fighting Jojo Diaz. Jojo Diaz wound up slightly edging him, and Devin Haney wound up going to fight Jojo Diaz. Javier Fortuna had a bunch of inactivity. He had a couple fights where he had to pull out, and I just hadn't heard anything. This was the first I heard about him, in recent years, in a minute. You know what I'm saying? So, salute Cookie Monster. Mic check, 1 2 1 2, coming through crystal clear. I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, I saw the highlights to that. I did see some of the Buatsi. I think the highlight, as far as boxing wise, as far as watching, was when I seen that Lyndon Arthur and Bradley Brea fight. That was a pretty good scrap, man. It was going back and forth, and Lyndon Arthur wound up taking over the fight. But I ain't gonna keep you. I don't know how long this one's gonna be, man. But I'm not gonna keep everybody that long tonight. What I'll do is get into the housekeeping. Number one, Tank detractors are pissed. Like, a lot of people keeping their poker face, but it was a lot of people hoping, man. It was a lot of people. They got their thumbnails done. I know they got their thumbnails just tucked away. They got all kind of titles in. I think, man, people might have blew their load a little bit premature, man, thinking that the fight wasn't going to take place, man. And it's just the state of boxing, man. The state of boxing that we in right now, man, it's just treacherous, man. When you look at the grand scheme of things, I try to keep that 80-20 percentage, you know what I'm saying? Like 80% is good and 20% is bad. And I do know that a lot of people, because of the era that we in, where it's just negative, like it's just, even if it's just negative, it's just bad. That 20% that we harp on, that's all people really want to talk about, the 20% of bad things, you know what I'm saying, that's going on in the sport. But it's so many people that was, you know, they hope that Jake Paul and Tank fight don't go through. You know, they're gonna make a lot of bread hating on the fact that the fight, like, it's one thing it's one thing where you might say to yourself, well, that fight didn't need to happen no way. But like, to openly celebrate that a fight was canceled, like, this was the equivalent of when they found out that Rolly wasn't gonna be able to fight. Like, I seen it back then. People were making content, and now I was just like, hold on, man. Like, even if I hated a fighter, you know what I'm saying, just had true, pure disdain for a fighter, I wouldn't, as a boxing fan, just as a fan in general, I wouldn't openly just hate on the fact that the fight got canceled. You know what I'm saying? It just says a lot, man. I'm like, man, y'all need to just relax, man. Y'all need to just relax, man. I don't know why y'all don't want the brother to get paid. I don't know why y'all don't want him to go have some fun and go play in the sandbox with Jake. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you don't support it, you don't like it, you're not gonna advertise it, cool. But like, jumping for joy and doing cartwheels and backflips and round off and back handsprings and screaming out, you know, on your balcony. This fight not gonna happen, and rejoicing, you know, like you just hit the lottery. Knock it off. You know, it just shows the state of boxing, man. A lot of people got hate for that young man, you know. Now, I don't know why. I stopped trying to figure out years ago, you know, but that's the first one. The second one is Ryan and Mario Barrios. Just for thrills. Salute. Welcome. But Ryan and Mario Barrios, they saying that, you know, they were in talks and it's close to being announced, and Ryan's going to get another title shot. And again, you know, people are a little, you know, selective. It's a little selective outrage, you know. You know, I remember when Gary Antuanne, you know, the subject matter of the night, I remember when he got out, he got edged out by Alberto Puello. And a certain boxing community was, you know, having a protest about it when he was able to come right back and get that title shot with El Rayo. And they were saying, oh man, they setting El Rayo up and all this. You know, it was a Latin community that was having this protest. Pretty large community. So they had their little protest. So, you know, of course they're gonna be for this one. You know what I'm saying? It's two Latino fighters. You know, they're gonna find a creative way to get behind it and support it. And justify it. Why? Because Devin Haney is campaigning at the weight class now. He's a full-fledged welterweight, and you know, he got a dance scheduled with Brian Norman Jr. All things considered, we gotta keep our fingers crossed that fight actually goes through and that DHP don't pull out. You know, I hear some haters, some Brian Norman and them detractors out here talking about how Brian Norman, they basically hoping and praying that Brian Norman and them overtrain. I'm like, this, I keep trying to tell y'all, man, protect your broker. You know what I'm saying? Allow me to go out and listen to these fools, you know, as they talk, and then come back and pretty much translate for you, because we in a pretty weird state where they're definitely going to celebrate the fact that Ryan coming off of that, you know, that loss to Rolly. They're going to celebrate him coming back and getting a shot at Mario Barrios. Why? Because that's that whole community. They're going to support their fighters as a whole. Mario Barrios got his own fan base. Ryan Garcia got their own fan base. And whether we like it or not, their fan bases, the cashier that they have with their fan bases, are going to get fully behind both of them. So boxing purists who are upset by seeing it, I mean, what more can you say? You know, I mean, are you gonna protest like they did when Gary Antuanne got his shot at El Rayo? I think it was an indictment on their fighter. You know, even though I like El Rayo too, they were saying, "Oh man," they were trying to blame Al Heyman. You know, because it is a community out here that they say that people gang bang for Al Heyman and all that. Tried to say that Al Heyman was setting them up. They also said that Al Heyman was setting up De Los Santos by allowing him to go over and get the Keyshawn fight at the time. I'll just give you backdrop. I'll just be asking that we just keep the same energy. So we got people that we got a fan base that's going to celebrate that Ryan is going to get a shot. With Mario Barrios. Which is, and when you look at it, if they were to say ding, 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 and they was in the ring, that'll be an interesting fight. To be able to see where, Ryan Garcia is. It'll be his second fight, post suspension. Was he still having a hangover from getting his victory taken by that suspicious activity that was recorded and, got reduced to a no contest when he did what he did to Devin? Possibly. Can he beat Mario Barrios? It's possible. But certain people are going to protest that, so just be prepared for that. But then you also have certain people, coaches, people who know boxing and all that, people who just don't like the Normans. They're hoping and praying. It's weird. They're hoping and praying that Brian Norman and them overtrain. I'm like, are y'all boxing fans or not? Do y'all really want to see the fight? Because I want to see the fight. I give this to one of the first times I'm giving, not one of the first, but I gave Devin respect when he moved up and he fought Regis. That's before I knew everything that was going on going into that fight. The behind the scenes stuff that later came out, I didn't know. But I gave Devin, his kudos for picking Regis. At the time I didn't know what was going on with Regis. We did see him come off that performance with Zorilla prior to that fight with Devin. I kind of reasoned, okay, it's the hometown thing, just like Subriel Matias when he was at home fighting Liam Paro, and he fought a little bit different because it's a little bit pressure. It's a lot of pressure on you when you're fighting at home. I gave him full credit for the Regis. I said, nah, don't go play in the sandbox with Ryan. And just a little history. People try to act like, and this is going to coincide with some of the subject matter tonight, but people try to act like one of the two boogeymen at 140 between Gary Antuanne Russell and Subriel Matias. People try to act like Subriel Matias wasn't out here calling out all of the champions. You know what I'm saying? In choice, like he was actually name calling and being disrespectful. He was running around putting his feet on people's couch at the time. Devin was one of them. Devin, Rolly, T.O. Those were the champions. He had choice words for all of them. I heard a Devin Haney only fan try to act like T.O. was pretty much the only one to duck that Subriel Matias smoke. I'm like, man, we pick and choose what parts of history we want to, in which we want to, recognize when it comes down to it. But hey, I'm not gonna hate on Ryan, man. I think it was rough that he got his victory. That that can kind of knock the wind out your sails. You get a qualifying legacy. Remember, that was game 7, according to what they call it. They was 3-3 from the amateurs because people pick and choose when they want to consider the amateurs. But that was part of one of the biggest parts of the storyline that they split in the amateurs. It was 3-3. And so that was pretty much game 7 on the big stage. And to get that reduced down to a no contest, to have to sit out some time, and take some time away and then come back fighting an awkward dude like Rolly. Not to make no excuses for sure, but nobody saw Rolly outboxing Ryan like that. No way. Nobody knew what kind of mindset Ryan was in. We know he got paid a lot of bread, even though I don't pocket watch. But we don't know what state he was in. So I'm not gonna knock the hustle, man. It's another fight. If it goes through, it goes through. He still gotta get in the ring and do his thing. But could Ryan be a late bloomer? Could a belt around his waist make him, hold him a little more accountable? Make him a little bit more staunch, a little bit more disciplined, and having something to stand on and represent and live up to the potential that a guy like Ryan has. Because I always said, man, the dude was in the gym, I'm not even gonna say 24/7, but if he was dedicated and made boxing his main thing, it's kind of hard now because he might be a little spoiled with all the endorsement deals and the amount of money he was able to get and the stardom and all of that. Maybe he's not as disciplined as when he was that starving artist. He has that silk sheet with a cult-like fan base behind him. Who knows? But if he were to, relieve Mario Barrios of his strap, could we see, a quality champion in Ryan? Would he live up to his potential? Would he train harder to keep it and defend it? And once that belt get around Ryan waist, especially, with the history of what they seen Rolly do, because people don't think that Rolly can box like that. They know he got strength, they know he can punch, but he's awkward, and they say that he's not the most skilled because he has a limited amateur background, and I think he was more like a MMA type guy. But that's another thing that that's going on in the boxing world, and a lot of people gonna come out and talk about it, especially when the news break, if it does get finalized. The other thing is Nicholas Flaws and Tiger Johnson. Those guys are going to fight on Friday, man. It's right around the corner. And then we got a humongous fight, on the 7th. But we're going to talk about Nicholas Flaws and Tiger Johnson. I'm pretty sure going into this fight, Nicholas Flaws is kind of like the darling of contenders right now, especially being, the pro box star. I know that he's highly favored going into this fight with Tiger Johnson. Tiger Johnson, this would be his second or third. This would be his third. Yeah, this would be his third fight. Yeah. I think it'll be his third fight at welterweight. And Nicholas Flaws was the only guy to put a blemish on Jahad Tucker's record before Jahad had that growth spurt and had to move up. But Pro Box has a lot in store for Nicholas Flaws. They think that he has potential to be a star. He definitely has a fan-friendly style, high octane, rhythm fighter. Can't let him get his engine revved up. You have to be opportunistic with him. You can't get hypnotized by his movement and what he do and just get caught up watching him work. You have a good solid jab. I definitely would say you got to go to his body to slow him down. You got to be defensively sound because he will overwhelm you with the activity. You know what I'm saying? He like to get up on you too. He'll get up on you and just start, letting his hands go. And if you don't have an answer, you could be in trouble. What I'm looking for is for Tiger Johnson to actually, sit down on his punches. Definitely let his hands go. And don't be trigger shy with a guy like Nicholas Flaws. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm kind of excited about that fight. We're going to get that fight and this has big implications for 147. I know that it was rumored that Rohan Polanco was going to fight Nicholas Flores. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was the whole ordeal with Top Rank and what they're going through as far as finding a network and all of this, you know what I'm saying, and all of that. I'm not sure. But I know Rohan Polanco's name was in that hat. So I would look for one of them guys to fight Rohan Polanco, or somehow in that triangle is going to happen. You know, whether Tiger going to fight Rohan or Nicholas Flores going to fight Rohan, or the winner get him, I don't know. But that's the fight that I'm looking for, because Rohan is a up and coming guy. You know what I'm saying? Dominican boxer. You know, he got some hot shit in the midst. He got some power. He got some thump. He went the distance the last couple times, but that's a fight that's in store. So look out for that fight on Friday. And that's the housekeeping. Let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes. Top Shotta them. Gary Antuanne Russell, man. Junior welterweight division 140 WBA champion Gary Antuanne Russell has finally rose to the top of the conversation, debating who's top Shotta them. Let's break it down. Hashtag Gary Antuanne. I got the 40 cal right there. Provides greater stopping power and can penetrate obstacles more effectively. And that's him, man. That's Gary Antuanne, man. The valedictorian, man. Cerebral guy. I call him the butcher in my boxes to watch. He will smother you. You know, he will apply that pressure, and if you don't know how to deal, he will suffocate you, and he will get you up out of there. You know, he's one of those names that we probably should have had a little talk about the other day when I was saying that knockout artists are endangered species. Why, Mike? If you listen, I'm going to tell you, right? Listen. Gary Antuanne Russell has a 94.44 knockout percentage. People don't last when it comes down to Gary Antuanne Russell. He's pretty much getting you up out of there. Cuello was the only time in his fights that he didn't get somebody up out of there, and he actually came up short with the decision on that one. But it was very close. So Gary Antuanne is 18-1 with 17 knockouts. You know what I'm saying? They got him listed at 5'10", even though I'm not sure if he's 5'10". I know I'm 5'10". He might be 5'8", 5'9". I'm not sure. He's 29 years old. He has a fight coming up with Andy Hirioka, and he just relieved Jose Valenzuela from his strap. Real Talk by Honeybee, easily baked. Salute to Real Talk by Honeybee. Salute Honeybee, salute Easily Baked. I appreciate y'all for coming through in the building. I appreciate the love on this evening. I just wanted to talk a little box. I didn't know how long I was going to be, but I just wanted to pop in, you know what I'm saying, and do this, you know what I'm saying, give this man his credit, because I was, you know, I found myself, you know, going over some things and having some boxing talks, and since 140 is like my division, you know, I was doing a couple pieces and I kept getting pushback. You know what I'm saying? I was hearing a little bit of pushback out here on these YouTube streets, because I was basically saying that if Shakur jumped up and he were to fight Teofimo Lopez and beat Teofimo Lopez, technically, in my opinion, he would be the guy. because at that point he would have been what, 4 weight divisions? We got 126, 130, 135, 140. He'd be 4 weight divisions. You know what I'm saying? He'd be in this 4th weight division. He would have been lineal, because a lot of people, they pick and choose when they want to give credence to the lineal. But like, just like Boots just moved up, you know what I'm saying? He was lineal because he beat Amanda Stanionis when he unified the IBF with the WBA, and he also got the ring belt. So he's lineal, and people are citing that. You know what I'm saying? People cite Bud for being lineal. So I'm like, if by that standard, if that's the standard we're gonna go by, I mean, Shakur, in any debate, or you know, to be able to poke his chest out, he would be able to say that. Now, would he be the best guy in the division? That's a whole different argument. It's a whole different argument. Why? Because a lot of people are saying that the 2 guys on the left are the boogeymen of the division. They say that Subriel Matias, the people don't just run up knocking on his doorbell, ringing his doorbell, asking him, you know what I'm saying, do he got any work? They don't. He's the one going around knocking on people's doorbells, and people turning, you know, putting the shutters down, closing the blinds, locking the doors, you know what I'm saying, closing the windows, putting the blinds down. That's what they're doing when Subriel Matias is running around. Same thing for Gary Antuanne. That's why I say it's inevitable for them to fight. Did a video about them a long time ago saying why not, and ironically, on June 15th, was that last year? June 15th last year, both of the boogeymen lost. The same night that Tank fought Frank Martin and sparked him out, Gary Antuanne got out. He got outpointed by Alberto Puello, and Subriel Matias got outworked by Liam Paro. And so that kind of knocked the division off kilter for a second. Richardson Hitchens then inserts himself into the mix. He beat the man who beat the man in Liam Paro, and that's when he arrives at the IBF. But as far as T.O.'s the most tenured, 140 champ up there, and I believe T.O. has the most title defenses so far, because Subriel Matias, he was rocking that IBF for a minute. He made some defenses. He lost his strap to Liam Paro. Liam Paro made a defense, lost his strap to Richardson Hitchens. Gary Antuanne lost his shot when he was going for the WBC that Alberto Puello wound up getting it. Alberto Puello wound up defending his strap against Subriel Matias, and Subriel Matias wound up getting a nod. Even though that fight was very close, some could argue that Alberto Puello actually won. Some can argue that, you know, Matias did enough. But that's debatable. So now, Boom said, what's good? Salute everyone in the chat. Can I join up and cook? Yeah. Salute. But a lot of people say that, you know, like if you want to go by like who got the hottest names on their resume and who's done the most in the sport, that would be Teofimo Lopez. If Shakur Stevenson were to jump up and insert himself into the conversation, then salute, Boom.
Salute. I'm gonna let you go ahead and do your thing first. You know how.
I say let's wait and see. Because to me, that's a little selective energy. I mean, that's kind of like the same thing they blamed another individual, because certain people could come up and then like the champion that they choose is always under scrutiny depending on which fighter does it. There was one fighter that came up a couple years ago, touched down at 140, chose a guy in Mario Barrios, and people say, oh man, you had Regis, you had Josh Taylor, you had, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, you know, I mean, he caught a lot of flack. So in this lineup, who would you say would be the weakest link? A lot of people would say T.O. Some people would say Richardson Hitchens. I'm one of them people that say, man, 140 is so nice that on any given night it can go down. But people are starting to, this pushback I was getting when I made that argument that I just said, or made the statements that I just said about T.O., more and more people were saying Gary Antuanne. I was like, okay, cool. Finally, everybody has caught up. Finally, the man is getting the recognition that he deserves as being, you know what I'm saying? People are talking about the man like he's top Shotta, man. Last time he got recognized by the WBA back in March when he made that performance, and he got honorable mention to another fighter, but WBA recognized him as the honorable mention for the fighter of the month. They cited his hard work, the work that he put in, his resume. Antuanne Russell good, but he had his gas out about 6 to 7 rounds. Like he needs to work out his endurance or a better nutrition. The last fight out, I don't think he looked like he gassed. But yeah, you could make that argument. I guess you can make that argument. Keen observation, Queen Nevea. Keen observation there. But let me talk about something. He's a southpaw, high pressure fighter. He keeps saying that, you know, whenever he fights, that he never gets to show his whole arsenal, his whole tool bag. He only bring all the tools that he need to get the job done. And his big little brother, Mr. Gary Russell Jr., is one of the nicest guys to ever lace up a pair of gloves. Definitely a pure boxer with some of the fastest hands ever in boxing. And he has knockout power. He is pretty much his coach. You know, he reigned for 6 years, 352 days when he was down at the WBC. Highly avoided, highly ducked. He said that the bloodline, man, is something that everybody got to deal with. But he gets a lot of his nowadays, since their father left here, Mr. Gary Russell pretty much commands the corner and trains him. And so Mr. Gary Russell be wanting him to fight a little bit different, but Gary Antuanne is just a fan-friendly guy. He's going to bring that pressure. You know what I'm saying? He's going to suffocate you. He's going to smother you. He's going to hit you. He relentless body puncher, really aggressive. And I want to talk about that because it's a fight coming up. It's a fight coming up with Andy Hirioka. And my hypothesis is that somebody is getting stopped. This is not like I would bet this fight does not go. If you're gonna bet, the surest bet on this fight, I will guarantee you this fight don't go the distance. Somebody is getting stopped. I think this is a very dangerous fight. I think that how Gary Antuanne performs in this fight is going to put his, like the same thing that just happened with Brian Norman and Jin Sasaki, how he kind of got a whole nother level of praise and a whole different scores of sets of eyeballs actually started catering to him in his fights. I think that's what's going to happen with Gary Antuanne, if like depending on how he handles this task. And let me tell you about this guy, Andy Hirioka. Right, he's a very dangerous guy. He's close to being, he's like 5'11", almost 6 feet. They got him listed there. Sometimes they over embellish, but he is a tall guy, and he can fight. He actually can fight, man. I was doing my homework, doing my research on him. And I came up with a description of him. He's rangy. He's accurate. He can pick and pop with singles and doubles, or he can go semi and completely let his hands go. He has power in both hands, but that left hook or that left up on Andy Hirioka is lethal. He sets amazing traps. He can fight off the back foot, and if you're reckless when you're pressuring him, he will use your momentum against you and either catch you and stop you in your tracks or put you down out cold with a well-timed, well-placed punch. Think about like Tank when he stopped Rolly, that kind of thing. Or Rolly was coming in, Tank stepped to the side, bop, and Rolly never really seen it coming. He, he dipped up out of there at the same time. As soon as he landed the punch, he dipped up under it and was out, and Rolly fell on the ropes, neck on the ropes, like that kind of shit. He's infamous for doing that. So if you run in there reckless, you get to chasing him because he's nice on his back, fighting on his back foot. He'll be backing up, almost like he's setting the trap, and he'll wait. And as you're coming forward to see him, he's already planning and he's meeting you. He's rangy. I think his arms are a little longer than what I think they got him at a 74-inch arm reach, but he's like 5'11". So coming up underneath, man, if you ain't ready for it and you coming forward and you don't see it, he coming from underneath and he catch you, you're going to sleep. He has personality. He will dance and style on you. That's like when he get into his little rhythm. If you do that little dance he doing, that mean he getting into his little rhythm. He has no problems creating offense, even against southpaws. He's faced 5 southpaws. Earlier on in his career, he UD'd 2 of them. But the last 3 of them, since 2019, he either stopped or knocked out, to include that guy, Jin Sasaki, that Brian Norman fought. He stopped him, right? He also stopped Old Man Barroso. You know what I'm saying? Old Man Barroso was the one that gave Rolly them problems. He's susceptible to right hooks, though. So he is a sucker for a right hook, but he has a beard. So if you're going to hit him with some shit, you're going to hit him. He's susceptible to the right hook, but he do got a beard. He could take a licking and keep on ticking. You have to be strategic. Don't let him be first, and you got to be patient and remain defensively responsible with this guy at all times. This is nothing to shake a stick at. This is nothing to shake a stick at, man. I seen some pieces and heard this man talk. Cam J Network, bodywork. Salute Cam J. Gary Russell Jr. surprised me how well he boxed versus Ryu, but the Russells layoff be killing me. Yeah, it's a gift and a curse, man. It's even just like getting news on them. Even just getting news on them guys. You can't even really get no news on them guys, but they're coming out more. And I think Mr. Gary gonna come out more. You know what I'm saying? I think this is his last run. That's the bigger little brother. I think, you know what I'm saying, he's gonna come out more and you're gonna see him more. And I think that this is the beginning of the run for Gary Antuanne. You know what I'm saying? But keep your eyes on this fight. This is on the Jake undercard. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why I'm actually pulling for that fight to actually go through. You know, some of it's in part to the undercard. You know, Mr. Gary Antuanne is one of my fighters. You hear him in my intro. I've been pushing for Gary Antuanne for a long time, and so for people to kind of argue and people just, you know, put his name up in the mix and actually start giving him the saludos that he need now and starting to insert his name in the conversation and saying that he the top dog, it's a long time coming. Because a lot of people, man, when you mention his name, it was something about people from, I guess, down here in the DMV area and stuff like that. Certain people, when they hear it, they just gonna hate on the area. You know, they're gonna say, oh man, they're gonna lump them together like people do to Charlos, which I think is so disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? These people had their own social security numbers, they had their own bank accounts, they had their own, you know, wives or girlfriends and their own lives. You know what I'm saying? You can't lump them all together. Some of them are, these are a band of brothers, but it's just like disrespectful to lump them all together unless you're talking about like their pedigree. But that's what they do. So to hear him, people starting to talk about Gary Antuanne and anoint him as the top dog, it's refreshing, man, because he deserves it. He put in a lot of work. Thomas Hill, body work. Salute Thomas Hill. So that's what I wanted to really, that's really what I wanted to put out here, man, about Gary Antuanne, man. I'm proud of him. I know that this fight right here, man, because he wants all of the titles. And I believe him. I believe him when he said he wants to become undisputed. I believe that he's not going to forsake us. You know what I'm saying? I believe that he's actually going to go ahead and try to seal the deal. Now, on the flip side, only thing that I can say is the only thing I really didn't like with Gary is two things. The only thing I really didn't like with Gary Antuanne. These are the two things. I was pissed off with Tio at the time, and part of me wanted to weaponize one of these fighters up against Tio when he was doing all that racial stuff. And so I was like, man, I wanted somebody to whoop his ass. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I wanted Gary Antuanne to whoop his ass, but Gary Antuanne came from the approach that they were like childhood friends. Tio was calling them Tweezy. He was like, and Gary Antuanne, being a smart individual, being politically correct, he basically addressed it and said, look, man, I'm gonna have to talk to him. I don't know if you really feel like that because I know the dude. So he kind of came from that approach. I was like, no, Gary, like whoop his ass. But I understand they had a history. They grew up together. That's like one of your childhood friends when y'all teenagers, you know what I'm saying? You know, you're gonna feel kind of different even if you see something in the media, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to web. So I didn't like that at that time, but it was cool. The only other thing was when another guy, you know, since this is all in the 140 division, these are my guys. Like, ironically, these are all my guys, man. Like, when you go back and you look at my videos, man, one thing you can't say about me is that you can't tell me that all of these guys were my guys. Like, guys that I talked about, guys that I did videos like ad nauseum about, guys who I know like the back of my hand as far as their boxing history, right? So the only thing I didn't like is when another guy in Richardson Hitchens, who survived TMT, got picked up by Matchroom, got it out the mud puddle. Don't have a band of brothers. Don't have a dad out here talking, you know what I'm saying, and speaking. Coming from up there in New York, pure boxer. When he finally beat the man and got his belt, and then he went ahead and defended and got Kambosos on his, got Kambosos as a pelt on his wall. He had Teofimo Lopez dead to rights, right? And I heard a sucker today flipping this story all around. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, these guys, they never change, but good thing you have people like me that's going to clarify this. When he beat George Kambosos, a guy who actually beat Teofimo Lopez, right? When Richardson Hitchens beat him, stopped him to the body, he calls Teofimo Lopez out. Now, Teofimo Lopez is there. The Haneys is there. They get in the ring and have a little scene. And they share the same guy, Keith Connolly. They share the same guy, Keith Connolly. I went over this. If you go back and you look at that video I did the other day called Blackballed. And I'll talk about, Richardson Hitchens and do the timeline on Richardson Hitchens and, what he's been going through as far as like his rise to the top. Turkey Al-Sheikh had already told us it was going to be Richardson Hitchens and Teofimo Lopez. That was already a done deal. They was already saying that it was going to happen in Alcatraz. So Teofimo Lopez was supposed to fight Arnold Barbosa, the guy who Devin was going to try to fight when they thought Teofimo Lopez was going to be retired. Teofimo Lopez get wind of it and said, oh, no, I'm not retired. If you're going to fight somebody, you're going to have to fight me. So it was going to be Teofimo Lopez and Arnold Barbosa. After that, it was going to be Teofimo Lopez and Richardson Hitchens. And then after that, it was going to be Boots. That was the plan. When Ryan lost, that was like a trickle-down effect of all the dominoes. And that's really what caused all of this. So Richardson Hitchens had Teofimo dead to rights. He called him out. That was the plan. They had the footage. Like, you got to think, when you think about production and how they roll out the fights, they want and need that kind of footage to be able to like promote and, you know, build the storyline that everybody needs. That was already there. Teofimo Lopez get up in there, you know what I'm saying, in the ring, and he say, is this what y'all want? Asking the fan, this what y'all want and all this. And then Richardson Hitchens say F the Haney's. You know what I'm saying? That's when he said the whole F the Haney's thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's when in the Haney's, they didn't even have him on the list. So for people to say that he ducked him and all, I'm like, at that point in time, Devin didn't have nothing for him to offer. He was running interference. So the same way I was getting on them, that's why I didn't understand why Bill was at the press conference with Richardson Hitchens. Coach Lenny and all that, getting into all that trouble. And then they had Cambosa's father. So it was Cambosa's father, Cambosa's father, and Bill Haney going up against Coach Lenny and Richardson Hitchens. So I was like, man, what in the circus act is this? You know, so I didn't understand that. But see, at that point in time, you gotta think, when Ryan lost that fight, that was a trickle down effect, and it affected Devin and them. So they were looking for a dance partner too. So they were just inserting them on something that Richardson Hitchens had already set up, because it was no coinky dink. Teofimo Lopez was in the building and that he got in the ring. Normally, when you in the division and somebody gets inside of the ring, that's normally orchestrated. It's just like when Devin got in the ring on Loma. Like when Shakur got in the ring on Devin. Like, that's how it happened. So that fight, they kind of organized it to be that. Just like when it didn't go down, but when Spence got in the ring with Fundora. Those things, that's like the etiquette of the business. So people didn't know. So immediately, my man Gary Antuanne come out and say, oh man, I beat this dude in the amateurs. Why he ain't calling my name? I didn't like that because we didn't hear from Gary Antuanne at the time. And I was just like, man, like, nah, that's not good, because you was like, we didn't know what was going on. This is before we really knew that anything had been ordered. I think it was talks. That was like right around at the cusp of when the fight, when it got mentioned that Hirooki was going to be the mandatory, you know what I'm saying? And they was going to order that fight. That was around the same time. Because you got to think, this is all with the WBA. Because remember, Rolly, a bunch of fights from the WBA. They had announced a bunch of them, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get into that. That's the only thing I didn't like. Other than that, man, like, I have no problems with, like, Gary Antuanne. He was a tough out. People was always acting like when he was that guy and he was looking for that smoke, a lot of people was acting like, oh, man, well, what do he bring to the table? And what that, like, yeah, an ass whooping. Probably an ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? Depending on who you are, probably an ass whooping. But salute, D Calico. What's going on?
Hey, peace. What's going on, bro?
What's happening?
All good. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of wanted to touch on your boy Hitchens, because
Go ahead.
like we seen a lot of so-called robberies before. You feel me? Like, people say Riley Romero robbed that, you know, done robbed a couple people. You know what I'm saying? But at least they were close fights. Like, people say Loma got robbed for whatever reason, you know. That's how they feel, you know. At least it was a close fight. You know what I'm saying? But when Lemos and Hitchens fought, man, I think that's the worst robbery we've seen in probably 2 decades, man. It was crazy. You know, for real. Like, that dude got whooped from pillar to post by Lemos. That's why I think he definitely trying to run from 140, because Keyshawn Davis coming. You know, and I'm not the biggest Keyshawn Davis fan, but I know what he did to Lemos. You know, for real. So I kind of wonder what you was like. How you feel about that fight when Hitchens and Lemos had scrapped?
I just had it. I took it out of my Let me pull up something real quick. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. I just had it up here. I'll be having so many thumbnails. I gotta take them down and take them out. Here you go. Here you go. Just to let you know how thorough I am.
So.
Let's speak to it. I had Richardson Hitchens, and he made I got a series called Adversity University. So when one of my guys go through something, I put him in there. Like Tank was in it for the Lamont Rose fight here recently. Gary Antuanne was in it with the Puello fight. And this one was when he fought Gustavo Lemos. Now, to give you the history on that, what happened is he's under the IBF, so it's he got the 10-pound rehydration. He wasn't typically doing that. Like in that one, that was a eliminator for the title. And so at that point in time, Richardson Hitchens, he always say that he rehydrates up around like 153. So he needed like another 3 pounds. Like typically that's what he do, 3. He said, and maybe at the most like 5. You know what I'm saying? So it's that extra 3 to 5 that he wasn't used to cutting, and he's like, it was a rough cut. He didn't have his nutritionist and all of that, so it was like a rough cut. And he was like, man, he know how to do it. So when he went into that fight, that was the first time he was doing it. And Gustavo Lemos is a tweener. He can go between 35 and 40. Now, if you look at the fight, I had him edging it, but I didn't have it a UD. I had Richardson Hitchens winning the fight, but I didn't have it a unanimous decision. That's why I had UD with the question marks like that. I was saying, nah, I don't think that was a unanimous decision. I could argue.
Like that's kind of a stretch when you said tweener, because
I argued it was a draw. I argued that fight was a draw.
Hey, as far as him being a tweener, like he didn't even make weight versus Davis. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he got pulled down. Remember, they was fighting at 40. He got pulled down, and that wasn't for nothing. Like that wasn't for nothing. Like it wasn't really for nothing. That wasn't for anything. He had just went through this with him. Like this is coming off of that with him. And that's, you can say what you want, but that was a war. That wasn't the same guy. The guy like you said, he didn't even make weight. It's almost like the same argument about Ryan, like Ryan versus Tank and Ryan versus Devin. It's like one was out of shape. They give him the same thing. One was out of shape, but because he looked and he came in at 143, they're like, oh no, he did not train and make himself get underweight. He was not disciplined and all that. Like that's what you can deduct from that, in my opinion. So that's why you got two different ones. And then Keyshawn, he's already naturally bigger. He's naturally bigger. He don't have no business at 135 either. So you got a guy that shouldn't really be at 135 in Keyshawn. You got a guy that was undisciplined going into the Keyshawn fight and at tip-top shape because he was fighting an eliminator to get a title shot. If Gustavo Lemos would have won that, that's why he fought Richardson Hitchens like that. That would have been him and Liam Paro fighting like that. Mm-hmm. Him and Liam Paro would have got that fight had that happened. Mm-hmm. So that's how I see it, man. I mean, I'm not making no excuses. I just know that that's why he want to get out from up under that IBF so bad right now. He don't want to be under that because it's not that he want to balloon up. He ain't going to go from like 140 to 165. He just want to go up to like 153, 155 maybe. You know what I'm saying? He need like 15 and that is a little rough on him. But I think he's saying that he got it down now. Like, so if he had to do it, it just got to make sense. He got a nutritionist. So that's my understanding of it and why that looked like that. But I wouldn't argue with anybody if you said, hey, Gustavo Lemos won it. I can't argue with you. You there?
Yeah, I'm definitely here.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with you if you said he won. I wouldn't argue with you. You know what I'm saying? But that's my understanding of it. I just know that it's time for all of these guys to mix it up, man. 140.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Like I see too many dudes at 140 taking the T.O. route. Because after T.O. fought in New York, I was telling people he would not fight again this year. Immediately after a fight. I just know how T.O. operates. Like anytime he feel like he did some heavy lifting, he's not gonna lift again. He wants a tune-up after that. He don't like T.O., man.
Now look, the thing is, this is what happened. And this is why. Like T.O. another guy that I follow close. And I used to rock with T.O. hard, but this is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
He had a contract to get paid. He had 3 fights. He got his first installment, but then again, when Ryan shit the bed against Rolly, it was a trickle down effect. That knocked everything off Allen. So what they tried to do was, and then the disrespect he had with Turkey, like when he had that disrespect with Turkey. So when Turkey wasn't gonna pay him what he said, because it was like $9 million, and you gotta think, out of all those guys, out of Tank, Ryan, and Devin, T.O. been getting paid the least amount of money. Like he's never really got the amount of money that he should have been getting. In part because of his own doing. He did bite Top Rank in the ass by trying to do that Triller shit and buck the system and all that. And he did have, his temperament sometimes, his mental health and all that it fucked him up. And so that's why he got put on the back burner and the other guys got put to the front. He finally made up for it, and then he get his first one. When Ryan did that shit that he did and lost to Rolly, that knocked everything off, because he was supposed to get like $9 million, and it was supposed to be him and Richardson Hitchens next. If it wasn't him and Richardson Hitchens, it was either going to be Boots, and he was going to do it for that bread. It was like $9 million. They didn't want to pay him that. They didn't even want to pay him that. They was like, nah, they didn't want to pay him that. And so he got unmotivated, because he's never gotten, even though he's by the letter of the law as far as like being lineal and fighting, having fought in Loma, having fought in Josh Taylor, like fighting the marquee guys, like the top guys, he never got compensated correctly for it. So when this happened, Turkey reneged on him, and that's why he said, man, you a dictator. And that once he did that disrespect, he was like, oh well, we really ain't paying you now. Now we just gonna jerk you around. And so that's where he at now. He been wanting to get paid. It was supposed to be him and Richardson Hitchens and Alcatraz.
But T.O. be ducking the fade, but he want to get paid though. You know what I'm
but
saying?
He do. I mean, he was willing to fight. He was willing to fight. I don't know why he ducking. I think it's because of the money. But Turkey kind of reneged on Richardson Hitchens as well. He basically said, "Look, man, I ain't working with you unless you with Eddie," because he made that announcement out and abroad after he stopped Kambosos. He announced that he was a free agent right then and there, and Eddie didn't like that. He was like, hold on, man, why would you say that out loud or whatever? And so since then he been in limbo. That's why I don't think him and T.O. actually got it on. One, because the money ain't right for T.O., and two, Turkey won't work with Richardson Hitchens unless he's with Eddie, but he a free agent, and they got the same manager. So I was listening to somebody talk about this shit earlier, and I'm like, man, sometimes when people be making these points, they don't take everything into consideration. I know we all want these fights, but sometimes it be the business. Like the business be getting in the way, and we just be wanting to see the fight. We be like, man, fuck all that. And I understand, because I want to see him too. But there'll be backdrop to this stuff that we don't really get, and I'm like, damn, that's why we ain't getting it. You know what I'm saying? But I can't argue with you that I can't argue with you that he be ducking fades. He do. He pick and choose. You know what I'm saying? He be having that. His head don't be in a game like that. He don't be motivated sometimes. He like, man, I want to get paid, and they don't be trying to pay him. And he self-sabotage sometimes.
Yeah, so T.O. doesn't sell. I say T.O. doesn't sell.
I think he could if they put him in the right situation.
I mean, yeah, he would have to do some heavy lifting.
Yeah, like if they put him
Like
in
him
there
versus-
with Tank, if
like
they have to put him in there with Tank or
Like if he want to sell, he got to fight Shakur. Because we'd all be interested. You know what I mean?
yeah, what do you think happens in that fight?
It's more of a toss-up than people want to realize, because T.O. do have enough power to possibly turn the fight. And he talking smart as hell. Like the guy was saying, like T.O. was saying, like basically he just admitted totally that Shakur is such a superior boxer that you can't sit there and box with him. You gotta mix it up. You gotta make it uncomfortable. Like you gotta do things that's unorthodox. And just by him even saying that, it's scary. Because how did he know? You know, T.O., of course, I'm sure somebody in his camp would know, but T.O. is adamant pretty much about approaching it like that. And I think that's definitely back to it.
Well, they sparred. They sparred before.
Yeah, they definitely did. They definitely did.
He know.
Yeah, he know.
Yeah. So, but I'm glad you said that, because T.O. is one of them guys. He get in there with a big name, he'll turn up.
Exactly.
He fights to the level of his competition. I do believe that.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
I think you'll see the best if they paid this nigga. And I'm not even an advocate, because I was trying to weaponize somebody to whoop his ass after that. But I just said, you know what? He stopped it. He cut it out. It's like, okay, cool. You thought that was going to be some promotion, but I'm not going to say that he ain't got the time. He's not talented and all that. I just think that if they pay him right and they put him in there with a good dance partner, just like everybody else, it takes two to tango. He got to be in there with somebody, and some fighters are like that. They got to be in there with somebody that make him turn up. I think O'Shaquie, to a certain extent, I kind of think O'Shaquie like that. I think O'Shaquie going to turn up with Fulton in there because it's somebody. Yeah, so it's certain fights. Sean Porter was like that, I think. You know what I'm saying? So, I think if they compensated T.O. the right way and he had the right dance partner, he would sell. He could sell some tickets. Like I used to think that him and Tank was must-see TV. Like now, I don't know, because they get long in the tooth. They get longer in the tooth now, and now their mind is not. The business of boxing is kind of fucking with them. You know what I'm saying, up here. So it's like, man, what kind of fight would we get if we got him in there? But I used to think Bob Arum even said that was a pay-per-view. That was the only guy. Even before Loma, like without talking about Loma, that was the only guy Bob Arum had ever said or it had alluded to as being pay-per-view was T.O. and Tank. We missed the boat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now we don't know what they're going to do. 140 is ripe for the taking. I think Gary Antuanne got the energy, but all these guys want to get in there with him. Not if they don't get paid.
See, like based on his layoff and the extensive time that he's been at 140 his entire career, I expect him to miss weight on the scales eventually. You know, I think he's going to be forced out of 140 because it seems like he never wants to leave. And I think he'll be more inclined to want to come now that Boots is gone. Yeah, you know, we know he beat Boots in the amateurs and all that. But these guys trying to protect that old and their reputation so well that, you know, they're avoiding certain shit. I don't care what they say.
Good point. I said to say, I noticed a whole bunch of people. You notice how when Boots left, a whole bunch of people decided they wanted to mosey on up.
Yeah, everybody.
It's like a gate was lifted or some shit. Like, damn, what happened?
Yep, and you can tell who's who. Like the T.O.s and the Devons, they already knew that Boots was going up before other people, so they decided to speak on it in a different way by calling them out. You know? Yeah.
Yep. Because there's no coincidence that Devin at full-fledged 147. He just did the catch weight. I'm like, why did you just do the catch weight? It's like because you didn't want to bear the grunt of having to say that you was in the same weight class at the same time. Like you ain't want to go through that. Mm-hmm. It's like Boots did you a favor by doing it. That's why I was mad at Boots for when he decided to do it. But it was time, because just like Gary been at 140, he been at welterweight. It's been time for them guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think Gary can make weight because Gary said he can actually make 135.
I mean, you know, talk is cheap. And if he do that, he get knocked out. by Tank Davis, yeah, he going to sleep. You know, he was talking that talk when Devin Haney was down there. But he wouldn't go down there to fight Tank. Guaranteed. I bet I'd put it on anything. I mean, the money might force him, but that money ain't getting knocked out.
That's the point I used to would make. You know what I'm saying? Them both of them, my guys. I would just be happy to see.
I love Gary Russell, but nobody has that one punch power in boxing like Tank Davis. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about man. He the only boxer that's not a heavyweight that is a heavyweight, because we know the heavyweight division. You know the fight can change with one punch. Yeah, that's Tank Davis.
Yeah.
You know everybody else is going to be an accumulation.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Maybe, but you know, Better Be, but even Better Be not doing it early, or you know, like this new Tank don't even have a high punch output, but he getting the job done.
That's facts. He has the least punch output, but he's the most accurate. That's why I be trying to tell people that it's not just brute power. It's speed, timing, and accuracy.
Yep.
If you know what I'm saying, because shit, you could take a finger and if you poke somebody hard enough in the eye, you know what I'm saying, like you take that same finger and you hit him in the skull, ain't gonna do nothing.
Yep.
You take a finger and you poke him square in the eye. That shit is like it's that accuracy, that
solar
that
plex,
speed,
whatever.
that timing, and that accuracy.
Hey, hit him right in that solar plex. Take all the wind out of him with one finger.
Like what he did to Frank, you know what I'm saying? That's why I said he be having. My lady said, "Man, take a drive, you crazy." She said, "Yeah, you chain smoking." I was like, "Yeah, baby," but like once he figure it out and he can pull that trigger, it's over. You know?
Yes, sir.
And people ain't going. I say this all the time. People ain't going to appreciate him till he hang the gloves up. And we got a glimpse of it, like when we seen Sean Zettel say, "You ain't really going to retire, are you, Tank?" You ain't one of the. He talked the most shit. Them guys were talking the most shit about that. And when he said, "Yeah, I'm about to hang it up," they like, "Man, you ain't really going to retire." It's like that's how a lot of people are. Like they know he's that guy, but they not going to give him his credit until he ain't fighting no more, which is sad. Because
Yep. And bro, I done heard in boxing circles that the hardest punches are short guys. You feel me?
mm-hmm.
And I even was talking to these Africans, and they were saying how it's them little short pygmy people in Africa. They say them motherfuckers hit harder than anybody.
Yeah.
You feel me? So it's just something. You know what I mean? It's something. It's something. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, good points, man. Good points, man. I wanted to do this, man, to highlight Gary. I hope this gonna be a barn burner. Like this fight, this ain't nothing. This Andy Hirioka dude, this ain't nothing to shake a stick at.
Yeah.
Now the competition that Hirioka been fighting, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Who knows?
But see, that benefits a fighter sometimes. You feel me? Because they haven't been to war. They don't have the wear and tear. Yeah. But they've been practicing on their craft.
Yeah.
You know? And that's why people scared of Boots Ennis. They feel like he ain't been tested because they want to see some chinks in his armor. They want to see him limping a little bit or something, you know? It's just like that, you know, the Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney thing. Nobody wanted no smoke with Devin Haney after he beat Regis Prograis. I'm talking about Ryan Garcia damn near. You know, man, bro, it felt like they was throwing him to the wolves. It's like De La Hoya is done with your ass. You feel me? It was over before it started. So, you know, the outcome was crazy and, you know, whatever else controversial. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, now that Devin Haney went through that, man, it's night and day. Everybody wants some smoke. You feel me? Everybody wants smoke. So, for him to go after Brian Norman can do a lot for him, good or bad. It could do a lot of bad, or it could do so much good. It can only do one or the other. You know what I'm saying? And that's the great thing about it. We need more fights like that. You know what I'm saying? Where just like even look at Jojo Diaz and Regis Progress.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fight for retirement. The loser was already like slotted to retire. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? This for all the marbles. But the fight was so damn good, neither one should retire. You know what I mean? Even though JoJo lost, people want to see him again. You know?
And I started to think, man, I ain't used to seeing now Regis get touched, but I ain't used to seeing Regis get touched that much.
Yeah, he be on TikTok. Like, hey bro, I'm gonna say you on TikTok?
Nah.
Yeah, you gotta get over there, man. You'll go viral. Like if you was live right now on TikTok, you can do both at the same time. Trust me. That room will get filled up. But when and you can play, like, ain't no copyright. You ain't gotta worry about all the copyrighting over there.
Okay.
So you can really turn up and explain yourself. But what I'm saying is, well, yeah, my boy Regis Progress. I was talking to him on TikTok, and you better get in touch with all these guys too. That'd be another thing. And, you know, make them clips and put them up on here. What I'm getting at is, I was talking to Regis because I noticed it's something about his ankle. You feel me? And it's something about his ankle.
Oh, okay.
I feel like, you know, Haney kind of fucked him up because he made him move too much. And some of the times Haney even caught him. Like even when Haney dropped him, it was like the ankle went out, boom, 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 and then he fell. You know? And even you know, he just been having problems with his stability, like, you know. Yeah. So I even asked him about his, you know, did he have an ankle problem, ankle injury or whatever. And he ain't answered the first time I commented, but when I asked him again, he went ahead and admitted, like, yeah, you know, he need to definitely, he trying to get it taken care of. You feel me? Like you know, a lot of these fighters be fighting till they get the money to pay for the surgeries and whatever, you know? So yeah, he really out there on one foot. And if it wasn't for that, Regis he do got that power. And if he could really stand on them shots like he used to, you know, like it would even help him take the shots better. You know, having that footwork, you know, that ankle up under him. But he said he working on it. I hope he can get the surgery. You ask me, if he get the surgery and just wait a little while. I know he getting older. He don't even probably want to wait. You know, like even when you see him train, you'll see him train in the pool a lot. You know, so he could be off. Yeah. You know, pressure off that ankle.
That's a good observation, man. I was wondering what was going on. I say, man, because Regis been one of my guys. I've been the advocate. I be pulling for the guys that people. I try to stay off the beaten path a lot, and I actually try to do an honest assessment of these guys. And so I had been noticing something was off about Regis. I couldn't put my finger on. I was like, what is going on? Like, you know, are you training?
Yeah, because I ain't gonna lie, I know what you mean. It looked like, damn, exactly. Are you training like are you still dedicated? Are you bullshitting like outside the ring? You know what I'm saying? But it's not that. You know, it's an injury. He heavily dedicated. You know what I'm saying? Probably like I ain't gonna lie, like people gonna understand, like people don't know I don't know if you know who Greg Hackett is. He made an assessment about Brian Norman Jr. in this build-up. He said Brian Norman Jr. is possibly overtraining, you know?
Yeah, so, I said that in the beginning. Like
so people not understanding. Like that's probably what Regis did, you know, in the lead up to Devin Haney. And it just happens to certain fighters, and I forgot who it just was on the interview. Like I'm sure he wasn't even thinking about what Brian Norman said or Greg Hackett, but he was talking about it was a certain fight that he was in. He overtrained, and that's why he, you know, performed so poorly. You know what I mean? So, you know, guys don't understand you can burn yourself out. You know what I mean? Like you done already, you maxed out for no reason. This is boxing. You know? Yeah. You need to stay loose.
What up, AC?
What's good, bro? Salute to everybody on the panel. Salute to everybody.
What's happening, man?
I just wanted to respond to some of the thing he just said about Greg Hackett feeling that B-Norm is overtraining. Maybe, but then I've heard on the opposite side, they're doing way too many interviews. Are they training enough? Because every time you turn around, it's either him or his dad on somebody's platform talking. So sometimes things like that, I take with a grain of salt and things like that. As far as Regis goes, Regis was a guy I was looking up to, but it was just hard for me. Like, he was just one of those fighters that I always wanted to see fight live. But for whatever reason, when the fights was happening and all of this other stuff, you know, between life and things like that, I could rarely catch a Regis Prograis fight. Like, I'm speaking honest, and the only fight that I actually got to go through the whole build up and the fight and everything was when he had fought Devin. And I'd probably say, because at that time I was, you know, I'm still like a super heavy Devin Haney fan, so that's probably why I was following everything so closely. But Regis to me was one of those guys that always had a lot of promise, but he just didn't have like that machine behind him. So some of the moves he made, I get, but I didn't think he did enough due diligence on what he was trying to accomplish. And that's what kind of like consistently had him fall in the background. But the dude shows up and shows out in the fights to me. So when I did get the chance to rewatch it or watch the highlight reels, I was always pretty much impressed with the dude. Like, damn, man, this is just one of those dudes that can get it in, is real like a motherfucker. I love the way this dude talk. I love his attitude, but don't nobody want to get behind him. Why? And just and at the end of the day, basically for me, what y'all saying? He's got a fight coming up soon.
No, he was saying that when it came down to Regis and JoJo, when they just fought, that was like a battle for retiring, but the fight was so good that neither one of them should have retired. And I said something about how Regis was one of my guys, but it looked like something been wrong with him lately, and he explained that he had like an ankle, something going on with his ankle.
Oh, okay. All right. But what was the cook about Gary though?
Oh, the fact that people are really starting to now ratchet up his name. Like, they've given pushback, because I say when you look at lineal and, you know, accolades and, you know, stuff that people in like fighting the guys being tenured, it would be T.O. Like, but now I'm starting to get a lot of pushback, and people are finally starting to recognize Gary Antuanne as, you know, saying that guy in the division. And so I was saying, yeah, it's about time. It's been a long time coming. And D Calico tend to think that it's about time for the guy to move up. And you know, I think he's gonna try to go for Undisputed, but I was questioning whether or not these guys are actually going to fight him.
Yeah, that's something I said earlier on Pop's joint, where I was like, you know, when they was talking about the 47-pound division, I was like, I could see a dude like Gary Antuanne going up, because, you know, he's a big looking dude. You know what I'm saying? Just like his physique, bone structure and everything. He looked like he could easily make, you know, 147, possibly, you know, be a nice, lean, tight, you know, strong 154-pounder. It all depends on where he ends up. But yeah, I could definitely see him moving up to 47. I don't even think I would have a problem with that. I think he'd add a hell of a lot of spice to it. You know, that's just me. As far as him going for Undisputed at 140, part of me with Gary is I think he needs to get into a division when the division is developing early. So, you know, whatever this weird bias is around the Russell name, he can just let his work get that funk out of there. Because sometimes it's like when you mention the Russells, it's like a quiet grumble, moan, murmuring, like, oh, you mentioning the Russells and nobody want to see Gary Russell or any of them Russells. And it's like, why? And then you just try to figure it out. It's like, what is it about these people that make you dudes rumble and groan and shit like that? They're solid fighters. They're good fighters, you know. But
let me insert my little soapbox, a baby soapbox right here. It's our culture, dog. Like, let me explain. Cause the Charlos get it. It's like you gotta respect the fighters like as their own fighters. Like, cause when it come down to Abel Ramos and Jesus Ramos, they don't do that. When it come down to Figueroa and you know all them, any other brothers in the culture that they respect them and stuff, like with the Vargas boys, they say the Vargas boys. It ain't no negative connotation. It's like, oh yeah, oh, and Armando he's this, and Emiliano is this, and you know what I'm saying? Junior, he's this. Like, they clearly designate the separation. Like, you still got, to this day, you still got people who don't know Jamel from Jamal, who don't know who did what, who don't, like, even care to even say, okay, because they'll do it in debates. They'll twist them up. They'll be talking about nah, man, because he this. It's like, no, that's not the one. Like, you know, you just don't care to like learn and they do the same thing because Mr. Gray Russell perennially he would fight once a year, and he was at a point in time where, and this is what I be trying to say about all them guys moving up. It's been plenty of guys that were down there at 126 because he was there for 6 years, 352 days, and nobody took his strap, and he fought once a year because nobody really wanted to fight him. But all them guys that came up and passed that weight class ducked and dodged him, and then they would talk about Gary. And now, he got his own little demeanor, he got his own little temperament. But at the same time, they don't want to distinguish. Like, oh man, they're gonna wrestle, and they barely even fight. They this, they that. Well, you gotta think the way. Look, Gary Antuanne got a higher knockout rate. Tank is at a 93.3. Gary Antoine's at a 94.4. Now he don't got as many fights, but he got a 94% knockout ratio. People were not like going up to ring his doorbell or knock on his door to get in the ring with the dude. He was highly avoided. Mr. Gary Russell, the older, smaller one, like definitely nice, definitely one of the best to ever lace him up. People was not trying to. Shakur didn't want it. Shakur didn't want nothing with that man when he was down there. Like a lot of people, but they lumped them together, and they can't really get out of that stigma. And part of it is because they wasn't fighting that often. It wasn't fighting that often. There's always been these little layoffs and these little breaks, and so people. It's one of them things where because people couldn't see them as much as they wanted to see them, they just like to hell with them.
Yeah, no, I could buy that, but it's just, to me, it's just like that's heartbreaking that y'all automatically go there with this dude. I would think that more people would be way more excited. Like I'm super excited for him versus Andy Hiroka. I wish this shit was in Japan. You feel what I'm saying? I love that it's on this card, but I think, you know, let's say he goes out there and he sparks Andy like Brian Norman did to Jin, then that carries all of that momentum because I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty much sure that Gary never fought outside the USA.
I think he was like I think he went to the Olympics like he was like but outside of that, but
as a pro.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah, so that puts you, for me, always is a nice box to have checked off. That you went overseas, and you either defended your title or you took somebody's title or you just had a big fight. That's always a plus in my category to say, that if he does become a champion or he is a world champion, now I can say you're a world champion. You start to check off that box. So for me, that's kind of an important move. But hopefully he'll get a fight, maybe somewhere in the UK or something like that. But I got high hopes for Gary. This is a tough fight against Andy Hiroka. I like both of them. And again, for me, where people start to talk about boxing and the state of boxing, bro, I keep getting these fights where I'm fans of both of the guys. I'm facing that more now than pretty much I've almost ever faced in the times I've been watching boxing. So I'm excited for Gary. I want to see him show up, show out, but I'm also excited for Andy. Like, you're getting a huge opportunity here, bro. And it's basically that for both of y'all.
Yeah, this is what I said for that. This is what I got right here. I said somebody getting stopped.
Yeah.
Like this fight is not. I'm betting at a minimum. I'm betting that this don't go the distance. It's not going the distance, bro.
I ain't gonna lie. Like, if Gary Russell is the goods, which I've always said he was the guy at 140, and I ain't say I lost no doubt in him. But this should be a tune-up if that's the case for maybe a Super Matias. Because you have to be able to step on somebody like this so you can, show the world that you're gonna do it to Matias before you even do it.
Let me ask you something, Calico. When he fought Puello, how'd you see that fight going? Like, how'd you score that fight?
Puello did a good job of running, but I don't feel like he did. I don't feel like he did a good, enough to take the belt from the champion. Same thing with Lamont Roach. You talking
about? I'm saying, okay. So hold on. Puello fought Matias, and then Puello fought Gary Antuanne. How'd you see Gary Antuanne?
I'm talking about when he fought Russell.
Okay.
Yeah. Now when he fought, when he fought Matias, that was better version of him running. Like, that was more skillful, and they pretty much robbed him. You know what I'm saying? They robbed him because we've seen him, do something like that many times and win. But he was, Matias was favored that night by Turkey. That's why Turkey is kind of dangerous for the sport. But paying, he's compensating people for the injury. That's the only thing about it. But I feel like my boy Russell, when he fought Puello, especially early, I don't think he got enough credit. Like the first 6-7 rounds, he really was winning to me. And then Puello did better in the latter half of the fight, but I still didn't feel like he won. I didn't feel like he did enough to take no belt from a champion. But I ain't gonna lie. For the sport, it's almost good because Russell would have sat down for another year, and Puello wouldn't have fought by 3-4 people. So I respect it.
Yeah, he gotta stay active. He just gotta stay active, man. I don't like this. That's why I was getting on him. Only thing I got on him about was when Richardson had T.O. dead to rights. He had him cornered in. He had him boxed in, and then Gary popped out. And it wasn't that I don't want to see that fight, because I want to see that fight too. Like, 'cause I think Richardson need that kind of dance partner too. Somebody that's gonna bring that fire, bring that flame, and like it's a style clash, and like it's gonna force him to really step his game up, because Kambosos was like, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. But like, we wanted to see before that, we wanted to see him with somebody better than Kambosos so he can really do his thing. He just stopped him to the body. But he needs Richardson Hitchens could use a fight with a Sabril, or use a fight with Gary, so we could really see who's what, like who gonna, you know what I'm saying? If you gonna pull out, you know what I'm saying, your bag of tricks.
Yeah, like me, I've even thrown in the name, let me see Hitchens versus Sandor Martin.
That's kind of. See, I don't want Hitchens to fight the people that everybody has the the film on, unless they're one of the elite. because even when he fought Kambosos, the fact that Kambosos has lost as many times as he has, and by the people, man, number one, you know, Hitchens is like a great value Devin Haney. You know,
Yeah.
some people seeing him as better because we still thinking Devin Haney injured. Maybe, you know, maybe so. But
That's something Body. That's why Body laughing, because that's something he's been saying forever.
yeah. See what I'm saying is like Hitchens has never performed at 140 like Haney did day one. Day one, Haney walked into 140 and did some shit Hitchens just was scared to do. We know it because goddamn Regis Progress wasn't no joke. Like the only time he lost Josh Taylor. Did y'all see Josh Taylor's face?
Yeah, I always say it looked like hamburger meat. Yeah.
You feel me? Like, for one, I didn't like the, you know, the judgment, but who wants to be him? Who wants to win? Like, I don't want to fight you, bro. If I'm gonna get my ass tattooed up like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, God,
Yeah.
man, it's a hell of a win, bro. You won. What the hell the loser look like? You know? But yeah, I ain't like that. But I know one thing about Regis, he hurt Sunday. You know? And
Yeah.
He's just kind of hurt right now. You know, what goes around, come around type shit. But, you know, I hope he bounced back because I want to see him knocking shit out. I like that. I need that in the sport, you know?
Yeah, but D Calico, you'll find out about me. Is I'm the type of person that, okay, if I'm gonna ask for something, I have somewhat of a rational reason behind asking it. And the reason why I'm saying it is like with Sandor, people know that Sandor, even though they're filmed,
Good measuring stick. Good measuring.
You know, he's an excellent measuring stick, but also his losses, people feel he won.
Yes.
He was robbed in those, so it's like
well, Hitchens would definitely rob him. That's what I'm saying. like Hitchens is like Raleigh Romero. Like you can't play with the bank's money sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's probably why. That's the only thing probably scared Tio. Tio like, damn, I gotta knock your ass out. You know what I'm saying? Because I seen what it take to get a victory on you. It's almost impossible. You feel me? So shit. You know what I mean? So I don't know. The guy kind of dangerous for that reason and his skills. He got some skills.
Yeah, and that's the only reason why I'm like, okay, what are names for me for Richardson Hitchens to get people to really notice him? Sometimes you got to take that path that it's like, yeah, I got to fight the guys that everybody else fought. At least give me two of them. You feel what I'm saying? So now you are the guy that they say did a tough.
No, he need to fight Pollo. He need to fight Pollo.
Yeah, and I'm saying Sandor Martin, Pollo, Gary Antuanne, Sabril. For me, all of those are names that, you know, even me and Body was talking about it. Like, bro, you know, so those might be the names you really, really need for people to whatever, or you go up to 47.
Or Keyshawn Davis if you want to make me happy.
Yeah, I think Keyshawn will. I don't know if Keyshawn will take that fight. I really don't know. Keyshawn has me these days. Like, I got you in the question mark column. Like,
Yeah.
I just got to put you over there for a little bit. Because just on that last thing you talking about, yeah, I was in the room with all of these people that were like, fuck with the president and all of this, and how hyped you was about that. It's like, I don't even know if you coming back to boxing, bro, the way you're talking in that one.
That's false motivation. That's false motivation, bro. That man, he trying to make it look like he got it. He got it all together, and that he doing this, and he might not need it. He bluffing like a motherfucker, man. That nigga need to get back in the ring, man. Like that's he young.
He been suspended by Top Rank. He don't want him.
Yeah, and he young. He just. Because in the same breath, I wanted to say, that's why I ain't even commented on that. I saw that, and that was going to be part of my housekeeping. I was just going to say, man, mental health is real, man, because when you got a young guy, no, for real, when you got a young guy like that, and he's going through, he was right there at the mountaintop. Top Rank gave him everything, like everything that Shakur ever wanted. The way that Bud, the struggles that Bud had, They handed it to him with a bow and a cherry, and you know what I'm saying. He had a wing at the Waldorf Astoria with Top Rank, and he shit on him. And so now they had to spank him, because think about it, they had to spank T.O. too when he did that Triller shit. Like they're gonna spank you, especially if you're gonna have any longevity with him. But he went from having this big ass paycheck, and he, you know, when you're young, he probably was about to spend that money before he really had it. Now he got other businesses, and he ain't gonna starve. He ain't starving right now. But what happened was that payday was gone with no paydays in sight. Any endorsements, any deals, anything that they had planned, anything that they had going on, stopped. And so now he got to do this false motivation. Like, yeah, I'm good. I mean, I might not even need boxes. Like, man, come, you need it. You need it, bro. Like, it's best to just stay off it, because when he did that thing and he went to that press conference, right, in the same night, he said he was all online talking about, man, these people thought, I was like, man, this is social media. They're going to be able to, them same people that saw you, they're going to go back and look, they're going to go back online and look you up, and they're going to hear you talking about how you was looking at them people. As like mental health. Somebody, that's why you need better handlers. You need slightly older people who've been through life to kind of say, listen, man, chill out, put your phone down, cut it out. Like, you kind of need.
I'm talking about like a father, yeah.
Yeah.
You never had it. You know, let's just be honest. You know, and these dudes don't want to look up to any man because they be so hurt. You know, that's, you know, it's really just trauma, childhood trauma. So they grow up to the point they don't listen to any man. Period. Like they worse than a bitter woman.
Yeah.
For real.
I could attest to that hard body, because that's some shit I'm kind of experiencing. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm just like, the person you have in your head, that image of that male you have in your head just doesn't exist. So if you never met a real one like that.
You wouldn't recognize it. You wouldn't know if he was, you know.
You wouldn't recognize
it's analogy. Yeah, you wouldn't know him if he was right in front of you.
If he slept up under the same roof with you every day.
Yeah.
And Tank told him, he said, man, most of these cats, he said, when they get to the stardom, they wouldn't be able to handle it. And it's proof. Yeah. That shit take time to get used to. He couldn't handle that. Like, that's a lot. That was a lot of pressure. Yeah. Man imploded, man.
Yeah, it's like Travis Hunter type shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's a lot to handle. It's not just the field or the court or the ring. You know what I mean? Man, it get deeper than that.
Yeah.
As soon as you step off the ring is the real goddamn battle. Look at Tank Davis. He can't stay out of trouble.
At the end of the day, bro, I look at it like this. I think people forget that once you become a star, there are eyes and cameras pointed at you every day, all day, every second of fucking
day. And plots against you 24/7.
You feel what I'm saying? So if once you become at that level, then people say, nah, this person's a real one, they don't have security. No, it's just because they can't afford it, and they really not at that level that you think they're at. Because once you're really at that level, you can't have people brush against you. You can't have people walk that close to you, because a person will walk close to you and then flop on the floor and be like, oh my God, he just pushed me. That's assault. Y'all just saw that. And whether people saw it or not, somebody gonna say, yeah, I think he did just push him. Because the way he fell didn't look natural.
Hey, bro, when I tell you how grimy it is, like I didn't heard from rappers where the security that offered their services to the rapper, you know, like, hey, you know, like we could be your security or whatever. And, you know, them being rappers and gangsters, they'll tell the security, of course, they don't need no damn security, right? So what does the security do?
Set your ass up.
Yeah, he double back to make sure you understand you need security.
That you need, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like people
man, that's that mafia. Yeah, that's how it works. That's the old way.
Yep.
Yeah. But that ain't gonna change. It's like I said, it's the Jay-Z.
Yep.
So I mean, you know what? I want to see, because I think that if Frank ain't lose his mind with that little bit of money he got, I thought that Frank was good. I still want to see Frank and Keyshawn, man.
Yeah, I love Frank. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. To me, he a humble guy, and the way he go at it in the ring speaks louder than what he got to say, behind the mic, because he ain't no talker. He ain't no shit talker.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, he trying to knock you out in the ring. He ain't gonna just knock you out on the microphone. So I respect it.
I wanted to see him, and I want to see Frank in the mix, man. I want to see him in the mix. I think Frank still got a lot to offer if he's still hungry. You know what I'm saying? If he's hungry.
I've always dubbed Frank as the quiet storm. I don't say a lot, but once I lace up, it's it's gonna be thunder, it's gonna be lightning, it's gonna be strong winds. You feel what I'm saying? The type of blinding rain that you definitely gotta just pull over and hunker down for a couple of minutes. Let that shit pass. So that's the way I've always looked at Frank, between his personality outside the ring, and then once he gets inside the ring, he's like one of those guys that I really, really like to watch. And a lot of people sleep on his technical ability. For me, the loss to Tank is more so, bro. You just couldn't make that weight no more, my guy. And you can't lose muscle.
I was just gonna say. Yeah, I'm gonna say he brought too much muscle to 135. That was his only downfall.
Yeah.
So that'll make you kind of spent if you got to go a whole 12 rounds.
Yeah. And throw punches for 12 rounds. Lactic acid is a motherfucker. I don't give a fuck how much you train.
So he better suited. He better suited for 140.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I say,
he called that Ryan Garcia.
But look, this is why I say a lot of these people, because 135 is starting to look a little funky, man. People starting to act a little funky at 135, and 140 is really my division. Like, that's 140 is the one I say is treacherous, right? But what's gonna happen is a lot of people gonna start acting funny at 135 and rush up to 140 and get their asses busted, man. Because there's some people that ain't got no titles that will bust that ass at 140.
It's gonna get real crowded at 140. I'm talking about the Schofields. Who else definitely gonna have to go up? Like we already said, Frank Martin.
Abdullah gonna have to go up after too long.
Real soon.
Yeah, Abdullah excuse me. He may miss 140 all. Wow. He may miss.
Wait one day.
Exactly. Excuse me.
Yeah, like Kermel Moton definitely just gonna keep running up the weight divisions.
Yeah, he may miss one.
I'm talking about with no belt.
Together.
With no belt, he gonna keep running up with no belt.
Yeah, Mason may find himself waking up and saying, "I need to be at 147."
But Kermel gotta be careful, because unless he get a growth spurt and he get taller, he gonna have to. He gotta stick with a nutritionist or something.
Yeah, you gotta stay down. You gotta stay down here where Tank at.
Yeah, because it's one thing when you go up there and you bringing it, but like once your dimensions don't compete, once you can't compete dimensionally, like it's the same reason why I say Pitbull don't really belong at 40, in my opinion. Like Cambosis, Pitbull, them guys, they don't belong at 40. They don't have the dimensions. Like when you don't got the arm length and the height, you gotta have, like, especially when you at welterweight. You thinking that you at welterweight, you gotta be this really special. You gotta be somebody like how Tank is, where he got the IQ and the power. Like, you gotta be like that if you're gonna have those dimensions. If you don't have those dimensions,
that's real.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just somebody that's like not even that skilled, but that discipline. They might not be as God-givenly skilled as you, but they could be disciplined and know how to fight behind a jab and all that. They can give you a hard time if you're, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why Kermel got to be now. On the flip side, I see Abdullah's frame. Abdullah gonna have the frame for it. Abdullah gonna be the perfect welterweight, bro. Like in no time. Like They let that man, they mess around. He gonna bust his cherry and get this belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if he do what he need to do against this guy, which I was looking at some film, he should get past this guy if he fight the way. If he don't do nothing uncharacteristic, and he's really built for those lights, he get past this guy, and he probably have like maybe a year after that. If they, and you know, just with the right opponent, like a year after that. He gonna be like the perfect welterweight, bro. He gonna be the perfect. He got the frame because he gonna have the longer arms. He gonna have the height. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be able to, like, man. And he ain't even. They be talking about that man strength and all that.
Yep.
Like that. He gonna be cold, bro. Like at welterweight, if he do right, but see, he'll give. He gonna eat somebody like Carmel. Like if he try to go up there to 47, he gonna eat him for. He gonna eat him. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna be able to do nothing with him. Definitely. In my opinion, you know what I'm saying?
100. That's 100. Like for one, you know, the number one thing limiting Kermel is, you know, his technique. You know, like we all know he's a work in progress, but he's not adding anything to his style so far. You know? Like he's just volume at this point, and I think that was
kind of wild too. He kind of wild.
Yeah, it's just pure volume. So, you know, in some power, of course, but I think that was pretty cool at 130. But he got to stop it. You know, like he got to be selective with that. You know, of course, we want to see it before the fight is over, but do not be trying that shit from round one all the way down like you some David Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, like use some skill.
It's a dude named Scooter Davis, man. I think if he tried that shit with Scooter right now, Scooter will get him.
I love Scooter, and those are two guys that get spent, if you ask me. You know, especially Scooter, because like he got. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to think. Scooter is a little smoother. He's smoother. I'm thinking about
not Cool Boy. I'm talking.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Scooby. I'm thinking about Scooby, the big.
Yeah, Scooby. Yeah, Scooby. He got. I think he got too much muscle too. Like
he got too much muscle.
Yeah.
Ex running back.
Yeah, I'm talking about the dude Tank protege. I'm talking about Tank.
Yeah,
protege.
You're right. Yeah,
he been going at it with Moten because him, Zaybop is like him. Zaquin Moses and Kermel, they all kind of got their little thing, and I'm like, right now, I don't want to fuck with Scooter right now.
Nah, don't do it. Don't do it.
Y'all don't want to fuck with that man right now, man. Y'all might well just stay over there. Like if Kermel and Zaquin want to do it, because I say they're like two different. They're like polar opposites. Zaquin, he wants to be a pure boxer and stay on the outside and be selective.
Shakur, number two.
And then Kermel, he wild, but he gonna get a lot of eyeballs because they gonna say it's friendly. But when he get in there with somebody that's super technical, it ain't gonna look the same. You know what I'm saying? So, but right now they don't want to mess with that dude, the Shark, Scooter Davis. They don't want to mess with him right now. Y'all better leave that dude alone,
please.
He got a pro style. He patient. He do relentless body work. Like he'll fuck you up. Like, and I think. Shit, if he grow the way he's supposed to, his ass might be at 140 or welterweight. Like, yeah. So the future is bright, man. The talent is there. It's just who wants it right now. I'm like, right now, man, boxing is right for the taking. There's everybody pussyfooting. All the talented people, they being wallflowers. They being selective in who they want. You know, it's only a couple of the young guys that's really going for it.
Exactly. And I ain't gonna lie, Haney leading the charge as far as always attempting to, you know, just do something, you know, like take the best fight possible. That's what I'm saying.
That's why I've been kind of quiet on Devin. I give my assessment on the fight, but I'm like, normally I'd be on Devin ass. I was like, man, I can't say nothing. Devin got me quiet right now because I couldn't believe he took this Norman fight. I just couldn't believe it. I'm just hoping he followed through with it, dog.
Like what would you say both fighters' weaknesses are before we point out their strengths?
Brian Norman, I would say, if I had to start with Brian Norman, I would say that if you a little technical, it take them a little time to figure you out. So in the beginning, I think you could probably win. Like if you could probably get out on a jump start, you could jump start on them. Like you could probably get like maybe the first 3 rounds while you figure you out. If you're super technical, like if you're technical and you're sound, you fight behind your jab, you know how to move your feet. If you can move when he's set, and then when he get to moving, you can stop and pop. Like you can, you know what I'm saying? You can give him hard. Like if you got some decent lateral movement, more than respectable power, a little IQ,
and be able to cover his punches. Yeah.
You gotta be able to. Yeah, you gotta have somewhat a semblance of a beard, man, because the dude is just naturally. Everything that I've seen and heard, I ain't been in there, but everything I've seen and heard say that shit hurt. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that country strong. With Devin, we talked about this the other day, and I think this is more of a I said this about T.O. too. I think Devin is going through an identity crisis. I think right now he's kind of like he's a Frankenstein fighter. And it's because his fans are telling him, like right now, his fans are telling him he's gonna knock Brian Norman out. I'm like, man, y'all the worst fans in the world. That's not what he is. Devin is a boxer, and he can be opportunistic. Like if Devin is the type to where if you come out, he fight behind his jab, he stick and move, he frustrates you, he tire you out, and then he can start cranking up the volume later on in the fight and be opportunistic. You know what I'm saying? Or make adjustment. That's how I would have. Like I would tell him if I was his trainer, hey, knocking this dude out, take that shit out your mind. If I see you trying, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna be running hills. We're gonna be, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do some Chinese water torch on your ass. Get that out of your head. You know what I'm saying? You fight behind your jab. You frustrate. Say you need to be. It's like them wide receivers. I used to play corner, right? It's like them wide receivers that'll make me touch every blade of grass on the field. That's how it is in boxing. Like if you can run a route and you make me touch every blade of grass, every play, whether the ball going to you or not, that's what frustrates me. That's the kind of boxer he need to be. You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna have to cover me and have an answer for everything I'm doing, and until you figure it out, as soon as you figure that out, I'm gonna go back to this. It is gonna be a guessing game for you. And then like that, like it's up here more with Devin. It's not thinking that you're gonna go in there and change things. So right now, I think that his identity, they fucking him up identity wise. He listening to his fans, and they got him thinking that that's the same shit he was going into the Ryan fight. Talking about I'm gonna go in the middle and I'm gonna stand there, I'm gonna knock him out. He's on and it's levels and all. It's like no, bro, no. So that's the weaknesses on both.
For me, the weaknesses are.
Hey, if I can add real quick, just being devil's advocate, like would any of you all say that Boy Chica hits harder than Devin Haney? Or do we think Devin Haney could at least hit hard as Boy Chica, or maybe harder?
I think that dude hit hard, Joe.
Yeah.
I think it's been a couple people that say Boca Chica hit hard, bro. I think that dude just hit hard.
Yeah.
He's not as technical, and you got to think. Devin hasn't been this, he hasn't fought at this size. He's probably used to, then this is the other thing, and I'm going to let AC have it. Let me just say this, AC. This is also what I think. Sparring. See, they put so much into sparring, and I think that Devin might be one of them guys that can do some shit in sparring that he can't do on fight night because it's different. It's like in sparring, he ain't, depending on when he's doing it, he's probably, because Shane said it, and I was like, how is that so? Because size-wise and where he's at in sparring is different, and he's hitting people, so yeah, it's gonna hurt a little bit more, and he's in shape, and he's landing his punches, and he's feeling aggressive because it's like playing with a helmet and shoulder pads on. You got that protection. Yeah. So you're doing that. So when you get in a real fight, and then you dealing with somebody that's coming back with them 8-inch gloves, and you're shrinking down, so your punch resistance ain't there, you ain't gonna be as fully confident in committing to your offense because you already worried about what's coming back. So I think that he might hit a little bit better now, but this is the first time we're gonna see him at this at this size. But go ahead, AC. Go ahead, AC.
I'm gonna say it like this. For me, when I look at film of Brian Norman, one of the flaws he has is volume punches coming at him. I've seen little glimpses of that where even in the gym fight where he was backed up on the ropes, but he was blocking everything and looking over and talking to his dad, which was amazing. But how Jin got him there, that's the point I'm making. And how Jin got him there, he threw a double jab, and in one instance, and then the other instance he threw a triple jab and then threw a straight. For me, one of the keys to victory for Devin Haney is to throw the double and triple jab, because Brian Norman will just shell up and he'll go into his high guard. He's not trying to slip him. And that's another thing with Brian Norman. He does have the ability to slip, but he chooses not to. He chooses to just use his head and a lean back to try to take some steam off the punch so he can try to deliver one of those hard-ass counters or maybe one of his hard-ass straights. So for me, the weakness is you still haven't, or I don't know why you choose not to look to slip the double and triple jab or step out on it. The other thing is I'm not a big fan of the fact that he'd rather just lean back and turn his head to take some steam off the punch, which is like a weird rolling of the punch to me. But I guess he feels his chin is strong enough that, yeah, I'll take that half a shot or 70%, 75% of a shot to deliver 100% of my shot, which some people can say is a dog attitude or whatever, but against the right guy, that shit's gonna be problematic. And that's probably what got him, in situations before where people are like, nah, this can't be that guy. You feel what I'm saying? Because they'll say he takes too many punches. He's not 100% defensively sound. For me, on Devin Haney's part, is his stance. I'm not going to deal with the mindset of it. I'm just going to deal with the ring part of it. And even though that's major in the ring, but I'm going to say it like this. Devin Haney's stance, this new stance that he's chosen to take, where it's the laziest Philly shell that I've ever seen. To whereas one of his hands is literally up under his chin. It's like it's touching his Adam's apple or the top part of his chest. But it's not in the right place to be the Philly shell. And then when he tried to do it, he's not as erect and leaning back like Tyson Fury, and we just seen recently what Shakur did against Zepeda. So he'll just try to bounce out of it. You feel what I'm saying? But you're not as skilled and technical with that defensive style and that stance as James Toney was. So you don't know how to maneuver properly in that and then catch him and then be able to shoot off of catching him like that. So to me, that's the biggest thing. And he has this habit of when he shoots a shot and then he wants to counter it, he goes up under, but it's a hop. I seen in the video of where someone was trying to point out how fluent he was, but when I looked at it, I was like, okay, his hands are not defensively sound, and he literally leaps off of both of his feet. When you see Bam or Loma do that same move, they're in a high guard position and they'll duck up under it. You saw Lamont Roach do it in a tank fight. He stayed in a high guard and rolled up under that punch and then came up with his counter. Dev will just have his hands out or completely down and then literally leap and hop over to where both of his feet are off the ground. And with just that stance and that, it's like, bro, I think just between the two of those, because you still haven't fixed that, it could possibly be night if Brian Norman team just does a little bit of film study on it. But for me, if Dev can go back and shoot the double and triple jab and work off of his jab, it should be an easy night. You feel what I'm saying for him? It should be.
What you got, Calico?
Yeah, it's if I'm gonna touch on Brian Norman first, I would definitely you know, like I'm one of the ones say that he flat-footed, you know, and I say that because of his lack of you know, like he's not doing what he wants when he comes forward. When he comes forward, he's not landing much, you know, like he's not really getting the job done on the front foot. Now, I know he's a big puncher, but or whatever it is, I don't really know what it is, because guys really be stepping to him, and I'm talking about they really be stepping to him, even though they end up getting knocked out. It's crazy, you know. Like I've seen him get kind of dirty. I know he'll throw some elbows. He'll headbutt you, like, and once he draw blood, he's like a shark, you know. Like, there better not be no blood in the water. That's when he's his very best. That's when he can come forward or anything. He can do it all. But when both fighters are 100%, he's not really good coming forward. Even though the Cuevas fight, to me, he did come forward pretty well. But every other matchup, it seems like it's a struggle. You know, that's how you got dropped with Boy Chica. But on the back foot, well, he's not really a back foot guy. But as far as when he's stationary, and for some reason he's gotten you to come to him, he's a menace. You know what I'm saying? He's a menace. So I know styles make fights, you know, and with Haney, you know, his weakness is definitely his lack of combinations. You feel me? Yeah. Haney got to get the people what they want too. I've been saying it for years. You know, especially, you know, just seeing him win almost every round in certain fights is like, okay, I appreciate you. You know, you showed us how to box, but put a show on too. You know, you Devin Haney. I ain't saying act like Kermel Moton, but try something, man. Maybe give me a 12-piece. Yeah, some crazy shit. I don't know. You know, a 5-piece shit, something.
He can't afford to do it. He didn't got, every time he didn't try to do something like that, he had to pay for it. And that's because my personally believe is because he didn't do what I think Abdullah going to do or what Jihad Tucker had to do. Like, they moved up to the weight classes that they should be in early. I think he stayed down, and with all of those physical advantages that he had, there were people that were more skilled, and now it's like he's setting his ways with some habits now to where it's like you got to learn those on the job, and the people that he's learning them against, you can't afford to make them mistakes. Like when he tried to, because he tried, it's the same patterns, bro. Like, and I ain't even hope, I hope we get a good fight, but it's the same patterns. I'm gonna say this, because he said he's gonna go out there and stand in front of Ryan. Whenever he did that and he wasn't moving his feet and being opportunistic, whenever he got touched, it was like he was getting hit in his face with a dumbbell. Then he tried to do that shit with Linares. He stood in front of him, you know what I'm saying, and got caught reaching in that cookie jar, and Linares bang, you know what I'm saying? So he can't even afford to do no showmanship like that. Like, he can't, just think about it. This the last thing, Calico. He had Regis dead to rights. Yeah. And they say that it was a discipline thing, and Bill said that he just didn't want him, but it's like, man, it's blood, like you said, it's blood in the water. It's you got a wound, you got wounded prey, you got to close. He didn't want to he didn't even want to take the risk and wound up getting hit with some shit, and then the fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, because Regis can thump.
And that's what I expect with this one. Like I wouldn't be surprised if you know, Norman, because to me, man, his front foot be like like pigeon-toed or something. Like the way he have his foot turned, like he can't make no sudden movements. So if a guy really pressing, going to his opposite shoulder, you know, to the right, or you know, to the left of Norman, the way his foot is turned, it's not going to be just always too easy for him. You feel me? Especially when he get committed. But I don't know, man. Like I can see him getting dropped, but I wouldn't recommend Haney attempting to try to thinking he could put him to sleep. I don't think nobody right now can do that to him.
I'm saying it like this.
Problem.
I done seen training footage, right? Now, I always give the caveat that training footage is just a snapshot of whatever they're working on at that moment. But when I look at the different training footage for this particular fight, I see Devin Haney training in what I would call a 4x4 square. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. A 4 foot by 4 foot square. I'm not seeing him doing the lateral foot movement. I'm not seeing him, you know, throwing a double and triple. The things that I feel are his keys to victory, I don't see him do. The things that I feel are his key, Devin Haney's keys to victory, that's exactly how I'm seeing Brian Norman train. I see Brian Norman hitting a heavy bag and he's chasing a heavy bag. So that means he's working on a stoppage or how to stop a guy that may, once you get him hurt, he's going to try to be evasive and stuff like that. So I see him working on things like that. I see him doing, you know, footwork drill where he got the 4x4, but it's the long boxes where it's like 4x4, but it's 8 of them shits. And he's just going through the drills. So I'm just like, one or two things we gonna see here. We gonna see a Devin Haney that, you know,
masterclass, or yeah, or
a Devin Haney that's gonna stand there and be willing to trade and, you know, gonna surprise everybody because he's just gonna stand there and trade with Brian Norman and use his jab and defense and stuff like that. You feel what I'm saying? And with Brian Norman, where people are saying he's, you know, I hear you, but I'm not saying it about you. Where it's being said that he's flat-footed, maybe somewhat a come-forward fighter and stuff like that. You may see more of a boxer, puncher side of him. So this fight, you know, from the snapshots we see, it's giving me different ideals of how the early part of this fight's gonna go. But I'm a person that I'm just been a long-standing and huge fan of Devin Haney. This is the first fight that I'm saying, bro, I don't think you make it 8 rounds. So that's kind of the way I see it.
Yeah, the power is definitely there. See, and that's my only concern for Haney is that he'll be looking great up until you know what I mean? Because I feel like people are gonna bypass if Norman is getting schooled for 8 rounds or 9 rounds or 10 rounds, long as he finishes the job. You know.
Uh-huh.
But it's gonna be very telling either way. You know what I'm saying? Because if that's the case, then Haney was shot, and at the same time they exposed each other. It'll be, well, Haney's done for, you know, with anybody that's a puncher, and Norman may be done for with the likes of even a Richard Hittins, you know, because anybody else might be able to take a shot better than Haney if he can't. But like even in the Ramirez fight, I know people don't think Haney got, of course he didn't get hit too much, but he even showed some flaws where he got hit with the hook, the left hook and everything. But it just, the way he responded was, you know, in a way that nobody, you know, could ever bring it up. Nobody brung up, you know, the times he got hit because he responded well. You know, other than the fact that he didn't decide to stand there, you know, because like the only time he was getting caught is when him and Ramirez would trade shots. You know, when he's standing and planting his feet, he was realizing, damn, we trading shots. So I'm not gonna trade and give you any more, you know. I'm gonna be the only person punching. He should have just punched a lot more, because I don't mind seeing a guy being the only one punching, you know. But he should, you know, he definitely should have did it a lot more.
Yeah, and that's where me and Body is like in them trade and in them exchanges.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first trade, the first exchange is gonna tell everybody, you know, where I'll bring back in the mental state. It's gonna tell everybody the mental state of Devin Haney, because it's gonna be a reaction of getting hit like that. Does he go down? Does he back off and just get on his bicycle, start running and clinching and stuff like that? You feel what I'm saying? That's for me, being a long-standing fan of his. That's the thing that I'm concerned about as well. Like, bro, that Ramirez fight didn't show me anything that tells me that, you know, yeah, I could, as a fan of yours, I could get behind you and be like, yo, this is gonna be crazy 50-50. I really don't know, because Dev is gonna come in it, and yo, look at his last fight. Look at what he did to Ramirez. I don't have those receipts.
Yeah, but
let me just say this one thing. Mike Tyson said it best, man. Everybody got a plan until you get hit in the face, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And me and AC, we talk about this, and I ask everybody who's like a guest on the panel. I say, you know, we gave him a mulligan when he fought Ryan, right? Because Ryan popped hot, right? So we say, all right, you know, we saw what we saw, but you get a mulligan. So you come back, you fight Jose Ramirez, and when that fight was over, I asked everybody, so I'm asking you now, Calico, did you walk away with more questions, or did you walk away with answers after that fight?
My bad. Can you ask the question one more time?
I said when we gave him a mulligan for the Ryan stuff, because Ryan popped hot, right?
Yeah.
So when he went into the Ramirez fight, I said this is going to tell us a lot. I said when that fight was over, I said, did you walk away with more answers or more questions?
Yeah, of course, all of the answers pretty much were still standing. You know, like the only thing we probably learned was, damn, Haney got some great endurance. You know, great conditioning. Like his condition is elite.
So
you know?
So we still don't know. So we know he got excellent conditioning.
Yeah,
he's pretty much always had excellent conditioning. He's never been one to gas out. I can always say that. But we still don't know if he can take a left hook. We still don't know.
I'm saying he got hit, like I say, but it wasn't enough that most people even noticed. You know what I'm saying? And Haney didn't show any ill effects to it. That's the main reason is not noticed. It's just like with the Ryan Garcia. Without Haney getting dropped, if those punches weren't so effective, Haney won every round. You know, without getting dropped is what I'm saying. Because Ryan was barely, I ain't gonna say every round, but you know, like he definitely would have won the fight if he would have not got dropped.
Yeah, so that speaks to IQ then.
No, I'm saying like it's not the IQ if you winning. It's it's a weakness or
Yeah, but the fact that if you know that, okay, when I stay away and I stay on my game and I do this, he can't touch me. I'm touching him.
I like that. I got.
And he can't. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah, that game. Well, I'm gonna say game plan because Haney, I feel like he got the IQ to do exactly what you're saying because that's what he does. But for some reason, that the game plan for that fight was the worst game plan possible.
It's like us. It's like as an Eagles fan, we had Chip Kelly. And he had one of the best offensive minds, and then he would do dumb shit like he wouldn't play the clock. Like it was like why are we running three plays?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like you can have a beautiful offensive mind, and when you're disciplined and you're doing your thing, cool. But when you're doing stuff,
but you got to run the clock out sometimes. Everything can't be 2-minute drill. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying about Haney. Like he could run a masterful game plan. And he can impose his will and cater a game plan to his skill set. It's being disciplined enough to carry that out for the whole fight. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. You know
not most times, but yeah, it has happened. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But that's a high ticket item, man. That Devin Haney and Norman. Everybody's looking for that. But let's wrap up with just a couple of fights, man, and we can get out of here, man. You could talk about any one of these. You could talk about Oshaki and Fulton. You could talk about Benavidez and Yard. You could talk about Lubin and Ortiz.
Oh yeah, all that.
Yeah. You could just touch on those, and we're gonna get out of here after that.
It definitely like looking forward to Fulton and Oshaki. You know, like I hope he bring the best out of Oshaki. You know, because I feel like the brother has been humble for too long. You know, he done worked on this craft and showed all of this great technical ability. Now it's just time for him to like just give us a little extra, you know, to take us over the top. But Fulton is, I ain't gonna lie, Fulton is a good formidable opponent for him to try it, you know, because he calling out some big names. And if you struggle with Stephen Fulton, then you got to stay in your lane. You feel me? So I think the brother might pull it out. But I love Stephen Fulton. Like I've been rooting for him before he knew it. You know that anyway fight. And I'm glad he came out of that fight without no damage. That's why he's still able to fight now. Because I definitely feel like, well, we all know they stacking them gloves over there in Japan. So he was already in fear before he got in the ring. And then it looked like the punches was that bad that he couldn't really take much of it. So I'm glad he didn't overdo it so his career could be prolonged. Because that one fight don't mean nothing to me. And he's showing how great he really is because he keep going up and up in competition, doing things Antuanne couldn't even do. You feel me? Just to, you know, overshadow that loss. Like if he wins this fight, to me that overshadows losing to Antuanne. Easy.
Yeah. It'll be enough to put him behind, and it'll put his career into perspective. Because it'll say, because you know that's going to be the benchmark. So, you know, what was he able to do after that? And as long as he keep hit, my thing with him is his weight. You know what I'm saying? Because he be letting himself, he kind of be letting himself go. It's almost kind of like Bam. Bam get big as shit in between his fights. So you wouldn't even recognize Bam if you seen Bam in between fights, man. I don't know how the hell he getting down to 115.
Eddie Reynoso,
huh? He's with Robert Garcia, but I think he on snack. That's why I don't talk about him that much, but I think he on snack, man. I don't, you know, I don't make a big deal because, you know, I'm not one of them guys that's gonna single one of them out, you know what I'm saying, that's on snack, but it's something. You know, but that's my guy though. That's my guy. That's one of my guys. He like a little Swiss Army knife, man. Man can get you any kind of way you know what I'm saying? He like, that's why I call him the mechanic. You know what I'm saying? Like Jason Statham, he gonna come get you. You know what I'm saying?
Man, but I got a boxing song coming out. I know you're gonna like it because everybody we talking about, I done dropped the bar about him. You feel me?
Oh yeah.
Like I come on that bringing up Stephen Fulton. You feel me? Like I was clean since I walked on the scene. Like Stephen Fulton, I can box in all jeans and Timbs. Chassis rocking hard as me is slim. My jewelry ice and cold like the Burberry and Belonga. But I'm gonna definitely drop. I'm gonna let you hear that motherfucker, bro. Trust me.
All right. Well, you say you be on what, TikTok?
Yeah, I'm on that.
Okay. Same name.
Yeah, you'll definitely find me like this. Yep, D Calico.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, but shit.
And Lubin and Virgil. This is like people don't know. People probably don't see it like that. They think it's such a lopsided fight. But this fight is really just like Regis and JoJo. This is a retirement party. Huh? Because number one, we know they're both trying to knock each other out. But on top of that, this is supposed to be the end of Lubin. But no, if Virgil loses, this is the end of Virgil. You know what I'm saying? It's like saying, okay, if I lose, I get the flu. No, I'm gonna give you the flu. You feel me? Like, if Lubin win, bro, Virgil is no mas. He's no more. Nobody's gonna even think about this guy. Don't talk shit to Boots ever again in your life. You in trouble. Matter of fact, go sit in the corner. You in timeout. Real. But I ain't gonna lie. I was a big Virgil supporter, and it's so crazy that I probably never done this, which might be, I don't know, I might be wrong. But the way, you know, he kind of struggled with Boychuk, it made me think highly of Boychuk. So now I'm following Boychuk. I see him fight, and he sucks. You feel me? Like, come on, man. Boychuk ain't nothing. You feel me? He going out there with a tune-up and getting whooped. You feel me? So, Virgil, you better leave them tune-ups alone. You better leave Boychuk, like you, son, bro, leave Boots alone. I don't know what to tell you, man. Just go down and wait or something, man, bro. It's dangerous up there. Real. Now, the Madrimal fight fucked me up. Because, you know, Terrence ain't do much in that fight. So, seeing Virgil do more, I'm like, oh, shit. But no. That Boychuk fight didn't age well.
Yeah. But I think Boychuk got pickpocketed in that one, man.
Yeah.
I think he won
like he got robbed?
Yeah, I think he got robbed.
Yeah, he did a lot. He did
on Virgil. I'm talking about against Virgil.
Yeah, against Virgil. Yeah, that was a war.
Brandon Adams wound up beating him, and I think Michael Fox gave him a good strong run for
man, they cheated Michael Fox. I didn't like that, bro. They cheated him. And he came down in weight. Thin as man, bro, he was like a paper clip thin. You feel me? But Michael Fox outboxed him.
Mm-hmm. You know, they got the money behind. That's why I say I was saying that everybody if you go back and look at the video I did called I said upset alert. You know what I'm saying, with Lubin, because they looking past Lubin. I said, man, y'all gotta look at Lubin. You're looking at Lubin and where it's like Lubin ain't never fought nobody with an upside down record. Like Lubin, he's fought 7 undefeated fighters. He's fought 7 one loss fighters. Yeah, he ran into my man Mel and got sparked, but like Lubin, he can box. Now, if Lubin don't let his hands go, he gonna get steamrolled. Virgil gonna bring that pressure, but Virgil make a lot of mistakes. That if he ain't timid, if he don't be timid and he actually box the way he can catch Virgil, man, with some of these mistakes I be seeing, man. Like Lubin is a southpaw. You know what I'm saying? Lubin is a southpaw, so Virgil, it's only been like 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only been 3 of them. The last one was Mike McKinson, who was down at welterweight, and Virgil, it's been a minute, and that Michael McKinson ain't nothing like Lubin from southpaw. So hopefully Robert and them got a game plan for Lubin, but Lubin is like Lubin might upset the party, man, because everybody's saying Boots, and that I don't even think that's next. Don't get me down that path, but I don't even think that's next. I just think that Virgil better be disciplined and he better respect Lubin, because if he don't, they don't call him the Hammer for nothing. And I like Virgil because he go to the body. You know what I'm saying? Virgil go to the body. He's a relentless body pressure puncher, but like it's certain things you can do to kind of make Virgil have a hard time, because you gotta let him. If you let him on the inside, he'll kill you. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you got any kind of, if you can fight behind the stick and use your feet a little bit and keep him honest, you can make him have a hard time. You know what I'm saying? But that's my take on that.
Well, for me, I'm starting to lean more and more towards Lubin in this fight, because for the same reasons that both of y'all made. In my opinion, I don't know if Virgil can actually handle a real slick boxer, somebody that has I'm just gonna say decent footwork, a solid jab and respectable power. And for me, if I looked at Lubin, I'm checking off all of those boxes for Lubin, because there was one fight I seen with Lubin. I think his last pro box fight, he was fighting a taller guy that, to a certain degree, he was supposed to be somebody that they're looking to try to build and make a big name and all of this other stuff. And at first, it didn't seem as though anybody wanted to take control of the fight. And then something snapped in Lubin, and he just started putting it on old boy. And I was like, okay, all right, that's definitely what's up. So for me, if it was Lubin that I was looking at, it might have been Rashidi. So I'm just gonna forego that point, because it might most definitely have been Rashidi. But for me, when I look at Lubin, I just look at him as a dude that's crafty, got some power, and he's not the dude to think you're gonna do the normal stuff too. You got to come in there and really be on your A game for me when a dude go in there to face Lubin. So I got Lubin actually outpointing Virgil and beating him by the bare minimum, a unanimous decision. I think, and if I was thinking of anything else, I might dare say he might get a TKO stoppage, because he's going to frustrate Virgil and make Virgil walk into something. You feel what I'm saying? If Virgil is looking past Lubin, like the way certain things are looking. Because if Lubin is saying, I feel disrespected because everybody's talking around him, then your opponent is probably on the same page and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Lubin gonna have a chip on his shoulder, and Virgil could win. I think it's a 50. I think it's more of a 50-50 fight than everybody else think, and that's like, I'm not, because Lubin he do fall asleep. You know what I'm saying? Lubin do fall asleep. Like, he get into that rinse, wash, repeat stuff and don't make the adjustments and use his IQ. It's like, okay, after the first 3 rounds, don't just Rochambeau. Like, make an adjustment, you know what I'm saying? Go to your plan B, then go to your plan C. Let the chess game unfold. Like, but Lubin does have a habit of putting his hands in his pocket in the middle round, so fall asleep and just do the same thing. He can't do that with Virgil, because he gotta think. Like, I think we said this before. He gotta think he's down by, going into this fight, he's probably already down by 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And that's just the thing, because they looking at Virgil and the culture he got behind him, and the money, because they looking at like the big money fights. They looking at him like he's the big ticket item.
Yeah. Now, my biggest, like, I think about that talking point at times of Lubin seeming to be gun shy and things like that. And I have to say this. In this instance, I don't think Virgil is going to give him the opportunity to be gun shy, or he's gonna be the person that gets stopped. You feel what I'm saying? Because for me, Virgil is not the guy to go in a fight worried about whether or not I'm gonna be committed to everything that I'm doing. It's like, to beat Virgil, in my opinion, you have to be committed to beat Virgil.
Yeah.
Feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if he's not committed to beating Virgil, then you're going to be the person who loses. And that's like, if I had the biggest criticism, that's where my criticism might start and be the core of everything I say after that. You feel what I'm saying? And it's still going to be within the same sphere as, yeah, I've seen you get slow, but I've also seen the other guy get slow. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't know if that's what we call one of those Teddy Atlas agreements. You
Yeah.
feel what I'm saying? So I can get with that argument to a certain degree, but then it's like, yeah, but the other guy was kind of doing the same thing. So with Virgil, it's like, I don't think Virgil is going to make that mental agreement with you that, okay, if we're going to try to make this get into the championship rounds, let's slow down on this round.
Yeah,
Because
no.
like I said before, whether the fight's 30 seconds or 35 minutes, it's the same fucking money.
And this the thing, Virgil, you're gonna have to make him put his hands in his pocket.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna have to. Like, Virgil's hard-headed. He's one of them guys, you know, and Virgil's one of my guys. He's in my box of the watch. He the piranha. If you smell blood, he gonna get you, but you can knock Virgil down. He will get back up. He can get back up and stop you. He do relentless body work. You can frustrate Virgil. But Lubin gotta let his hands go. And that's my only concern about Lubin. Lubin in there, you know what I'm saying, boxing the way he can and fighting with a chip on the shoulder and letting his hands go. This is gonna be like, this might be one of the best fights this year.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
And you got Robert Garcia. So Robert Garcia is very high boxing mind. And people gotta listen for this. This is one of the things that's give me a little bit of reservations is Lubin got another new coach. And if you've been watching this video, you see my theme as far as these. I ain't gonna say Lubin is a Franken fighter. I'm not gonna say he's a Franken fighter, but like, he was with Coach Kevin Cunningham. I thought Coach Kevin Cunningham was excellent for him. Then he got with that coach from Pro Box, and now he with K Karoma.
Yeah,
K Karoma is he pretty much be in the corner of a lot of like boxers or like, you know what I'm saying, like pure boxers. I think, you know, I don't know, because I don't know, like, coming out against a new guy, you know what I'm saying, with a new coach. I don't know. Like, I just came upon that information, you know what I'm saying. I just found out that he changed coaches again. So he's with that dude from Pro Box. It was a nice little while after Coach Kevin Cunningham. I wish he would have stayed with Coach Kevin Cunningham, the Southpaw Whisperer. But this is his third coach, you know what I'm saying, in like 3 fights. So I'm like,
yeah.
So just keep that in mind. But that's a good fight, man. You know, we could talk this boxing all night.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify something. Yeah, I was right that Lubin was on Pro Box. The fight that I saw, that was, I believe, his last fight on Pro Box, was against this dude named Holmes Jr. That's the taller black dude I saw him. He dropped him in the 11th and got the TKO in the 11th.
Yeah, Audrey Holmes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In the beginning of that fight, it looked like ain't nobody wanted to take control. It looked like they made that agreement, and then Lubin just said, "Nah, I can't go out like that, because if I'm gonna get back in the Big Ten, I gotta do this shit. I need the stoppage."
And Lubin, I think Lubin know that, like, look, the world is looking at him because they want to write him off. And I don't think he want to be relegated to being a gatekeeper, because they have been using him a little bit like a measuring stick, a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, he worked his way up. He got his shot against Fundora. You know, he want to get his get back with Mel. He want to get his get back with Fundora. But, like, Lubin know that there's big implications for this. He lose this, you know, they might try to relegate him to being a measuring stick. And you don't want to be, like the measuring stick or the gatekeeper. You don't want to be a gatekeeper at 54.
Yeah.
You might well go down to the Howard Johnson, you know what I'm saying, with some, you know what I'm saying,
go to
with a bucket full of supplies, you know.
Yeah, go to Waffle House and sell DVD movies in the streaming era.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was a good cook with you, bro.
No doubt. No doubt.
Old boy right there. Yeah, it was fun talking with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we've been getting some people in, man, that talk that boxing. And they don't see things like everything like we do, but that's good. You know what I'm saying? That was a good little cook.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know, we'll cook later, man. We'll cook, you know what I'm saying? I got more stuff. I've been trying to get my stuff prepared in advance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I see this one was probably a spirit of the moment type shit, right?
Yeah, I kind of had it. Yeah, I was gonna save it for tomorrow. I said, nah, let me do it tonight because I don't know what tomorrow's gonna hold. So let me just do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean,
But then it was about the Russells. That's why I ain't hit you. That's why I ain't hit you with the link because I'm like, you know, I ain't, you know, I'm like, if he gonna be available, he gonna be available. But you know,
yeah, I feel like this. With some of the cooks and stuff like that, if it's just, look, I need to get this off my chest. My voice doesn't add anything to the argument when it's something like that. You feel what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I respect the creator of the creative process because I go through that. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, bro, like whenever I'm needed, I'm available. You feel what I'm saying? And if I see a link and it's just you chopping it up, I'll hop on and but and then I might just drop off. But you feel what I'm saying? Get my little 2 cents and then back out of it. But I get it, bro.
I feel you, man. But you know, and if you got something, man, we'll, you know, I'll be sending you some stuff. I was looking for some new stuff. The only thing I had, because you missed it in the beginning, was that the Ryan and Barrios, they might get it on.
Okay.
I was talking about how tank haters or detractors, they probably pissed because they thought that they had them. You know what I'm saying? And ain't, you know, it still looked like it's still going on, but they was like, they was anxious. They had their thumbnails, they had their videos, they had everything ready, boy. They can't wait to celebrate this, man. I said, well, this is the state of boxing when they waiting to celebrate that we ain't getting a fight. Now, if that goes down to where, you know, it don't happen or they got to find something that's just going to fuck up some of the card in this fight, Andy Hirioka and Gary Russell's on this card. So, you know, it's 2 weeks away. So, but that's all I really talked about in the beginning. And Friday is Tiger Johnson versus Nicholas Flores, a welterweight scrap, which is a good scrap on a Friday. So Friday we got that, Saturday we got the Lubin joint. So it's fight week, baby.
Yeah, it's official.
That's all you missed.
It's definitely official. So yeah, let me see something here. Let me just check this calendar real quick. Oh, okay. It's fight week and it ends off in my birthday. So I'll be celebrating my birthday after the fight on Saturday.
Oh wow.
Yeah, bro.
Another revolution, huh?
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, it's my
November, baby.
Yeah, it's my next trip around the sun, bro. So I've already, you know, made that, and I tried, you know, I've already stated it. So I'm already being a part of it, like, and everything. So at the end of the day, bro, yeah, we definitely gonna chop it up, and I'm gonna start looking for some stuff to talk about because, woo. This nonprofit stuff is a whole nother case study.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna need time to just
decompress.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I know. That's what I've been doing lately. I was like, man, I gotta, because I want to live for a while, man. So it's just like, hey, I be telling myself sometimes it's everything is about in timing. Because even when I'm like, yes, but it's been long enough, it's still all about timing, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's the due process and timing.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, there's a lot I need to learn, and and I've been literally, bro. I hopped on Pop's live, and I hopped on your live, but for the most part, I haven't even turned on my TV all day. It's been silent in here. When I'm not on y'all live, it's dead quiet, and I'm just reading and then going over, typing some shit in my computer, then writing some shit down and trying to think of, okay, so the difference between how I incorporate and then what the company is, and then there's 32 types of nonprofits, and there's a difference in what a non-for-profit is as opposed to what a non-profit is. And then there's 32 different types of non-profits. So now I got to figure those out and figure out, you know,
which one to apply to you.
Yeah, how do I, you know, now fill out the paperwork, because if I'm gonna get a tax exemption, then I got to fill out a form called Form 990. Let me look at that and figure out what questions they asking me on that. So this is all going to help me when I write up the business proposal and how I have to start to write my grant proposals and shit like that.
You using ChatGPT for any of this?
No.
We'll talk. We'll talk offline then, man.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, all right, man. But shit, I'll hit you up tomorrow then.
All right, then.
All right, man. Enjoy your evening.
You too, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, man. We had a good little cook, man. You know, I'm proud of my man Gary Antuanne getting the attention. He's getting the attention that he deserves now. And you know, we see, because this every live is starting to morph off into the Devin Haney and Brian Norman thing, man. That's how you know we got a good one, man. This shit might be fight of the year, man. And we're gonna have to. This is one of the things, y'all. This is one of the things. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. With the Devin Haney and the Brian Norman fight, we gotta respect them both regardless of the outcome. I'm gonna put that out here now, because I'm noticing that every live at some point in time that comes up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't necessarily introduce it. AC don't necessarily introduce it. But somebody on the panel or somebody in the comments introduce it, and that means it's a good fight. What we got to do is respect the fight. Regardless of the outcome, we got to respect the fight. Because that's how we keep getting the fights. If we shame anybody after this fight, whether we do our little critiques, make our memes, do whatever, get it out of our system. But like 2, 3 months, 6 months, a year, and all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's not be poor sports, regardless of the outcome. But I just thought I wanted to give my man Gary Antuanne his saludos. This fight, we 2 weeks out. Andy Hirioka ain't no joke, man. Go look him up, man. That's gonna be a barn burner, man. It's actually not gonna be a barn burner. Somebody getting stopped. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I had, man. I thank and appreciate for everybody that came through and said what's up. You know what I'm saying? And spent some time with us and contribute to the conversation. Hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to the channel. Share the videos. You know, if you catch this in the playback, talk to me, holler at me. I'll talk back. Silence is consent. SIC is the motto of the channel, meaning that all it takes for evil to prevail is for men and women to remain silent. So we speak to those things. You know what I'm saying? This is fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. Fact-based content, not opinion-based, even though we have ours. We try to be thorough. I put stakes in the ground for those who might not have a voice in this boxing. And I like to blow up narratives too. You know what I'm saying? I challenge. You gotta have your brain when you come over to this channel, and we can agree to disagree. We can have dialogue. We can see things polar opposites, but we know how to talk about it and be responsible with it. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I had, man. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for kicking it with me. Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. We don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay. You want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to